I want to play in Europe. What the hell does that mean, right? Because Europe could be Latvia, Luxembourg.
No one's talking about Latvia or Luxembourg, dumbass.
So you don't want to just shove it in there. Start with a smaller finger, especially if this is the first time. Start with a smaller finger and go slow.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Honey, eating it is the best thing that you can do for your man.
I want people to realize I'm just human. I'm just human, and I make mistakes.
So this guy, Derek, wants to know, is putting your tongue in an ass really the thing to do?
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah, just, it's a weird one, I think.
And I know you want me to toss your salad too, don't you? All right, on that note.
What are you saying, bro? You are.
Stop, bro! Stop, bro, homie, and stop!
All right. Derek does want to know. Slow build, but Derek doesn't need to know because Derek knows already. All right. I don't know. Would you have that gal who says, the best thing you can do for your man?
Oh, the one with the accent one on?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, you're married.
Not my cup of tea.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, whatever. Didn't mean to put you in an uncomfortable position there. Just kidding. The whole conversation is uncomfortable for most people. Anyhow, this could be when's Mother's Day? That tomorrow?
Well, so going back really quick, I even specified. I was like, I couldn't respect a girl after that. If they did that.
Really?
Nah, I know. Nah. I wouldn't go anywhere near that.
Okay. Man, talk about the anti-super freak crowd. Jesus. All right. Anyhow, this could be a wham bam thank you ma'am show. Speaking of that, not very good at that over my career. A wham bam thank you ma'am. A quickie? I'm not good at that. I've never been good at that. Always takes me too long. Like, I'm an hour guy. I'm like a 40-minute guy. Can't do the 5 minutes. Never could. I mean, of course I have on occasion. But yeah, I think those are generally difficult. Anyhow,
I know, man. I've seen many a clip and video and conversations where women are like, all the girls all my girlfriends I talk to and stuff like that, 8 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, there's a point where it's like, okay, this is too long, right?
Yeah.
Well, then do better.
Work those giggles, baby. Start squeezing.
Get more creative. All right, whatever. I don't know. Yeah. Anyhow, when is Mother's Day, by the way? Speaking of all this horrible stuff, when's Mother's Day? It's not a horrible thing. It's just.
I know it's coming up. That's about all I know.
It's like a contradiction to the conversation. I know it is coming up, but I think it's the weekend after.
Mother's Day is the 11th.
Okay. All right. So it's not this weekend. I'm not getting into trouble. I haven't bought anything yet. All right. Also,
go and make your German eggs for your family. They'll be happy.
Oh, my dad loves them. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The OP eggs. So 4 things that I meet a lot of unhappy people in my...
Motherfucker.
What's that?
Sorry, I just noticed that this is not live on Twitter.
I wondered why. There are like fucking 20 people, 23 people here. I mean, like, that's like, usually we're already at 100 or 80 or something like that. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's sort of like 60-40 at this point with the numbers. Usually it's like 40% on YouTube, 60 on Twitter.
Yeah, a lot on Twitter. So, all right. Oh, there go the numbers, bumping up immediately. Okay. So, there were 4 things I was always told in my life that if you have them and they're ingrained in your soul, you will never be happy. Right? The first one is vanity. Why? Because good looks don't last. So if you're a vain person, then eventually you're going to be disappointed and unhappy. Right? Or you'll do some weird shit.
What if your vanity grows with your age?
You're going to be
I
even
look at
more.
myself all the time. I look at myself all the time, and I'm like, I look great.
you're yet to be horrendously old and ugly.
Yeah. So I get to that point, I'm like, looking good, Brett.
Time to check out. Well, as long as you're self-delusional, vanity, I guess, works out okay for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
You're absolutely.
My wife goes all the time. She goes, "I had just a quarter of your confidence."
Yes, I know.
I probably wouldn't be with you right now.
You have said that now 20 times on this show in the last 3 years, at least.
You keep bringing up my good looks, Derek. Come on, I gotta keep saying it.
The next one is naivety. If you're a completely naive person, people will take advantage of you and you'll never be happy. At some point, you got to say, hey, I'm not going to be taken advantage of. I'm going to have to stop being naive. And not everybody is a good person. And it's time to stop trying to be friends with bad people. I mean, why? Why are you doing that? And then idealism. This you see all over. Like, certain ladies thinking this is an ideal man or this is an ideal relationship, or I'm looking for my, what do they call that? Your partner, your love of your life or whatever. Okay, that works for very few people. And by the way, the love changes. Okay, so if you think it's going to be like that the whole time, then you're being naive. Right. On top of being idealistic, which is in its own sense naivety. Life
would it be a bit of a vanity as well, because you're assuming you're good looking, but maybe your significant other is noticing your cracks.
I mean, I see this in very less than perfect looking people too, who are looking for the love of their life, whatever the fuck that means. If you're doing it good, you probably have a few loves of your life, but if you do it traditionally, maybe it's only one, but that just it's not a thing that works out. And by the way, the love changes. So just get ready to be disappointed if you think it's a grand romance the whole time.
Well, that's the that's the talk when they're like, oh, the honeymoon stage is over. You go from in a nice relationship, you get married, and you have the honeymoon stage, which can last depending on the couple.
Yep.
But eventually, at some point, that stage passes, and you move on to hopefully a long term of just coupleness.
That's when you start hearing, "You don't care about me anymore," or "You don't love me anymore." No. Now we have kids. Priorities are different. I don't have time to just spend it all with you. There are things that I've got to get done, and you've got to get things done too. Now, maybe we prioritize some time. Like we have a show that we always watch together, right? On Thursday nights or whatever it is, or Wednesday nights. You pick the day, but it isn't going to be the same. And the last thing,
the problem with that too, though, is that most couples have different interests, different things to fill their time. So like, I go upstairs and checking on the wife, and she's watching the Kardashians, and I'm like,
ugh,
you fucking watch this shit. But then again, we could sit down and watch stuff like Yellowstone.
Yeah, there you go.
We did Game of Thrones. Every year we watch the Rome series at least twice.
Oh, that's fun. See, you did find something though, right? Also, envy makes it impossible to be happy. We see a lot of that. Oh, other people have more shit than I do. Okay, if you're going to sit around and worry about that all day and night, you'll never be happy with what you have. Which, by the way, is pretty amazing if you think about it. 50 years ago, people didn't have fucking warm water to take a warm shower. All right, we didn't have fucking air conditioning. We didn't have like massive amounts of, you couldn't just go to a store and buy every ingredient in the world and make whatever odd Japanese dish or whatever Moroccan dish you wanted to make, right? That wasn't possible 50, 80 years ago. Now it is possible. Man, you can live in good old Indianapolis in the middle of the Midwest and make about any dish you want. So there are a lot of things that we should all feel like, man, I'm living like a king, but we can't. Because it's not good enough, right? It's never good enough. Well, maybe that's why I don't have a lot of wrinkles, because I am not envious. I'm not materialistic, never been naive or idealistic in any way. And certainly look at me. If I were vain, I have a real issue going on right now. So you got to get rid of all those things if you really, really want to be happy. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, you could still have vanity, Derek, and look like yourself. You just ignore all the cracks and wrinkles, right?
No, I don't have any wrinkles. There are other problems with me. All right. There are many other problems with this physique right now, as it still it is maintained. All right. That's all I got, Brett. I mean, like I said, this could be a wham bam thank you, man. We'll find out real quick. All right. For the 62 of you here now, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. And sorry, if we didn't have it on X, our bad.
We're getting all the tables set up for rating the players, and we completely spaced the Dutch league.
Oh, I did. I mentioned it.
I don't think you did. I think you mentioned everything around it.
No, I read off the list I had written down. Serie B, Holland.
Weird that you skipped over Holland, though, man.
I don't think so. I don't think I skipped over Holland. Anyhow, yeah, we're going to cover all the important leagues.
Of course, and some not important leagues. No, they're all important, right?
Less important leagues, but still, we got guys there that are sniffing around. So you got to cover Belgium because you got Yao there,
the Cubs,
right?
Be Cubs there, yeah.
Yeah,
got a couple of people in some mid-tier leagues that might work their way on to the national team at some point,
right?
Or back onto it, depending.
And we're going to use a grading system, by the way. So you listen, is a B in playing for in Belgium the same as a B playing in the Premier League? No, they're not. They're not. So just keep that in mind.
Context is always key.
Yeah. Actually, a B in Belgium's like, it's all right, but you really should be scoring an A. You're in Belgium. Score an A, right? But maybe that's your level. Maybe that's your level.
That could be your level, yeah.
Yep.
Or maybe they just need to get their opportunity.
Maybe so. All right, what do you got, Brett? Let's start this.
Well, it's funny you were talking about the 4 keys to happiness or unhappiness, I guess. Right. And we had talked about number 3 and the love changing in a relationship, etc.
Right.
But there's always subtle things that people say to their significant other to indicate that, like, I still love you. Like my wife, she says, hey, when you're done with that show, make me a drink, you twat. I know she loves me.
Sign of affection.
It absolutely is. Yeah. 100%. Right.
Who doesn't like being called a twat?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their pet nicknames.
Sure.
There's, we got all sorts of them. I mean, I could go down the list, but we won't be here until 11 o'clock. So
right.
But yeah, so here's another one. You sent this my way, so
I don't agree with this. By the way,
let's listen and find out. And we'll talk about this.
Okay.
If your man tells you that he has to poop, he tells you when he's going to poop, where he's going to poop. If you let you in on his pooping information, which is sacred, by the way. He loves you, no doubt.
No, I don't know about this. I have never shared when I'm going to poop, where I'm going to poop. I've had to say, sorry, honey, I got to go poop. But
I think that's bits of information. He's not saying that the person must say this, and this in order to love you. But if you were to say, yeah, dude, I got to go drop a deuce or drop the kids off at the pool real quick.
I don't think I've ever said anything like that. Yeah, I've never said anything like that. Casey says the key to happiness is a penis in your asshole. Really? Man, I am missing out.
I'll always be a bitter son of a bitch. God damn it.
And you're only getting the fake ones.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not even a real penis. Just shaped like it looks like a penis.
Obviously, the joking nature of this video. Poop and poop.
Yes.
And but I mean, the idea obviously is you're sharing some intimate details about your life. I mean, I'm not, I don't. Was it How I Met Your Mother? Is that it? Yeah, they send text messages with random, symbols or shapes. So like it'd be like a question mark. I'm like, what does that mean? Oh, Marshall's just sending me a description of his poop.
Oh, what it looks like.
Yeah,
that's one of those crawl around all the way to the inside of the rim ones, and then drops off into the hole. Yeah, listen. I think I probably said I'm going to the bathroom. I don't ever think I said I'm going to go take a shit. I just leave and I do my thing I don't remember ever telling my ex-wife I'm going to go poo. And there's only 2 bathrooms in the house, so it's going to be one or the other. I don't need to tell her exactly where, right? It's going to be one or the other.
Hey, you could do the Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura, walk out the door and then do not go
in there. Yeah, well, you can usually figure that out about 2 feet before the door.
Or Craig's dad from Friday. Nobody go in there for 25, 35 minutes.
Yes. 25, 35 minutes. All right. I'm glad we shared this.
It's fair.
Yes.
All right. Let's see what is next. We've got an update on the 100 males versus gorilla. Have you seen that?
I read an actual article that says that the gorilla would win.
Well, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my update's going a different direction here. Okay.
Okay. I'm not a gorilla, but I can beat off 100 men. That's a proud man. I'm sorry. I don't think that's a real. He could if they were attracted to him, maybe. But otherwise, no, he couldn't, because he'd be there all day and night, and his arms would get so tired.
Take a look at those forearms, man. He's been working out.
Well, you better hope that they find him attractive. So it's the only way
just blindfold him.
I guess they could.
There we go. Wuxia says that must be Lily Phillips merch. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have made more sense on her.
Of course, I've tried, Kevin, but I only got up to like 50, and then my arms they got sore and weak.
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't tried, but I can only imagine.
2 in each hand? Gross.
Oh, come on. You got to have giant hands to do that, or very small packers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you do 2 in each hand.
No, that's fair.
Anyhow, nice shirt, though.
I think it's hysterical. Mind you, and I wear many a goofy shirt. I don't know if I could rock that one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to advertise that. I mean,
I just don't want to be approached throughout the night at the bar. I'm at the bar, the wife, friends, and stuff, and all these dudes coming up. I don't want that. I'm out with my family. Come on, guys.
You already keep busy enough with our big, donators here in public bathrooms with the reach arounds. So
true. Sorry. Public bathrooms, I guess. Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. If the 100 men had no regard for self-preservation, it would be an easy win for them. Oh, are you talking about the gorilla now?
Is Fumar saying this?
Bandit.
Oh, Bandit said, okay. Fumar was pro man versus gorilla, I think last show.
Could be, yeah. He could have been.
I mean, just the sheer weight and pressure that 100 men could if they all tackled the gorilla at the same time. I mean, maybe
you can't, because there's only so much space. Maybe 7 or 8 of you,
6 or 8 of them, like all group up on him, and then on top, and then on top, and then on top, and then on top. Maybe it's just the pressure of 100 men slowly decompressing that gorilla's body.
You're saying dog pile, so they got to jump up over that gorilla's head to dog pile.
If they've got no self-preservation, sure, why not? Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like that's your best opportunity, because if you attack him, a couple at a time, man, you're just giving that gorilla the chance.
By the way, Starfish makes a great point. You have 2 feet to work with as well.
Fair enough.
But
so I mean,
going back to the other,
it'd be like 3. It'd be 3 at a time, right? Because you couldn't do
the feet. You got to go like that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So you're like that.
Sending the pawns. I like this. 100 men with a plan can win.
Okay.
Do you think all 100 like huddled up like All right, this is what we're gonna fucking do. Tony, you die first, and then we'll all.
Tony and John get the ankles. Adam and Beavis, you got the knees. John and Chuck, you got the hips. Yeah,
go for the balls. I mean, every depiction of the gorilla is a silverback, so one would imagine at that point, yes, they're all dudes.
You would have to sneak up behind it and kick it in its baby balls hard.
Kick him in the nards.
I think
gorillas don't have nards. Just do it.
I think we may have just.
If anybody gets that reference, I'll be thoroughly impressed.
Gorillas do have nards.
Instead of it's exactly what they said. Well, yeah. It's Wolfman, the reference I'm saying. Kick him in the nard. Wolfman don't have nards. Just do it. He kicks him and he goes, Wolfman's got nards.
Yes, they do. And
again,
so do these gorillas.
Anybody gets that reference, I'll be thoroughly impressed.
I think you distract them from the front, and then you get couple guys lined up in a row, and one kicks swiftly between the legs, and the next one then waits for the next opportunity, right? And nobody really attacks from the front because they're going to get killed, but they keep them busy enough.
Have you seen this video? Oh my God! I don't know, Casey. If you're quick on the Googles, you may have gotten that, but yeah, absolutely Monster Squad. Oh my God, great movie.
Okay, I don't know.
Have you seen the video of the guy at the wrestling or MMA or whatever? And he goes, "Twist his dick, twist his dick, the dick twister." You know,
no.
The people who are recording are dying laughing.
Have not seen that one. Jerk him off.
Oh man.
Okay. Well, anyhow. I think we've come up with a plan where the humans could win, and it is nutsack related. Yes.
Yeah.
Because those aren't small balls on those gorillas.
No.
They're large. And they're not wearing pants, so it's pretty easy. The target's like right out there. And I would imagine them getting kicked in the balls is just about as painful for them as it is for us. And I'm talking.
I would have to imagine.
I mean,
he'd probably grab his nuts and like run off type of thing, where we would just collapse and like we'll just accept our end. Like,
right.
Oh, just kill us now.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah,
maybe
it is. Maybe I'm leaning Fumar now. If you got a plan, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. It's like if the 100 men were in like one cage for a cage fight, and then a random animal were dropped in there, like a gorilla, poof. Yeah, we lose. But if we could sit there and say, okay, this is what we got to do.
Right.
Maybe there's a chance.
Yeah, I think there's
a chance.
It only takes one strike to the nutsack from behind, right? That's it.
Where's Spicy Jeff when you need him?
I don't know. Spicy Jeff's ever talked about gorilla testes, so we'll see. All right. It would be nice. I know Jeff was here for a while, Spicy Jeff. And then now he hasn't been back for a while. We might have offended him.
He may just catch us on the replay. Maybe he's like Berlin American. I almost butchered his name. He got busy. He got busy with his new gig, and probably just catches us on the replays from time to time. But I haven't seen him on Twitter. I haven't seen him anywhere, man.
Well, he's got a real job now. Remember, he's coaching for real.
He's coaching, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
True story.
Mm-hmm.
Probably can't come on our shows anymore because we're too spicy.
Come on our shows.
Exactly, yeah. He is, yeah. I mean, it's pretty gross. You should see his monitor. I'm just saying.
All right. What else we got going on here?
Oh, man. I'm sure you've seen it, but have you seen some of those videos of like, Brits coming to America or New Zealanders coming to America or whatever, random coming to America and trying American barbecue?
Yes, of course.
And of course their mind is blown because they've never had such delicious meats in their backwards countries.
Mm-hmm.
So,
last one, by the way, on the
what?
On the fluff. We're 25 minutes in.
Come on, son. No, we'll be done with the fluff when we're done with the fluff.
Oh, for Christ's sake!
Don't you rush the show, Derek?
All right.
Swear to God.
Okay.
So here we have two Brits. We're only gonna play a small clip of this because I think the funny part is at the very beginning. Okay.
Okay.
So, you hear, if you believe in, the U.S. media and what, some people around the world say, you would imagine that everybody's getting mugged, everybody's getting stabbed and shot here in America on a Tuesday, right? It just happens randomly.
It happens some places.
Sure. So, here they are. I've actually watched, these guys had a whole stint of like traveling the South and trying various places, and I actually watched their reactions to all of this stuff. And the biggest thing was they went back to the UK and they made biscuits and gravy for their dad or grandpa, I forgot which one.
Yeah.
And mind blown, type of thing.
Right.
So, they're used to their flavorless scones, beans on the side.
Yep.
Bleh.
Yeah,
So,
not good.
So watch how these Brits react to a good Samaritan trying to show them how they should eat barbecue. Okay.
Whoa. I know you're from where you're from.
We're foreign. What we don't know what we're doing.
Stop with the knife.
No, you don't need a knife?
No, you pull it apart with your hand. And listen, hold up. And you take your fingers and you lift that up and you eat it.
Okay.
Not with a fork.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Sorry.
They seemed a little scared there.
Well, who knows? Who knows where they're from? Seems like that was almost set up, though. So.
Well, go taking a look at the guy. I imagine he's the owner, and they've had to have talked to him beforehand.
Yeah, it's a plan. I have to admit, I do use a knife to split my ribs apart, and then I eat it with my hand.
Lame. Hands rip apart. Come on, man.
Nah.
If your ribs require a knife to split, you're not cooking them properly.
I guess it's more about neat, tidy tears.
You're eating barbecue.
There's
nothing neat or tidy about eating barbecue.
No, it's not after I'm done cutting them up into each rib. Separating each rib from each rib, then I eat it.
You just pull it apart and you eat and you rip the bone out, etc. It's not hard.
No, I cut it.
Strange.
Yeah. It's a Richie thing.
You goofy German. I swear to God.
Oh, by the way, tonight I am again drinking Three Philosophers. I would highly recommend this amazing quad with Creek Ale with cherries. It's quadruple. Of course, Belgian style at 9.7% alcohol by volume. I think it's probably the best American-made quad in America. Yeah, it's up there. Up there with Le Fin de Monde, which is not a quad, right? But that's made in Canada, which I can't find anymore. They don't have it down here anymore. I don't know what's going on.
Casey says, I bet Derek lightly dabs his corners of his lips with a napkin too, bitch.
All right, Casey. I like your enthusiasm.
You eat your pizza with a knife and fork too?
I did today.
You lame fuck.
I had to heat it up, right? And I put it underneath the broiler. It got really, really, really way too hot to pick up. So I'm like, I'm hungry right now.
Cool for a second, man.
Yeah, I couldn't. I was so hungry.
Or just be a man and pick it up, burn your fingers. A little first-degree burn's not going to end your life.
Well, I was also worried about roof burn.
That's fair enough. That's
roofage,
the worst, right?
Right? Because when you cut it up, it's easier not to burn your
roof.
Roof.
Worse than burning the roof of your mouth and you can feel the bubble.
I hate that, yeah.
You're like, and then it pops at some point.
If I wasn't so hungry, I would have let it rest. But I'm like, fuck it. I'm diving into this. And plus, I had to do show prep. So
Derek eats his ribs with his pinky out. Indeed.
It's so delicious.
So delicious. Why are we adding British accents to ourselves here? That's just that dainty tea drinking pinky up thing, I guess. Oh my God.
All right. For the 105 of you here now, make sure you like, subscribe, share with your grandma. I promise we'll get to soccer at some point. I really do.
You know what, Derek? We're not skipping the fluff. So suck it up, Buttercup, because here comes the fluff.
We could have saved some of it for later.
This is soccer related, Derek. Calm down.
Some days we have 30 minutes of fluff, and other days we got 5. You know, We got to space this out better.
We're talking soccer. Chill out. It's soccer fluff, though.
All right. The biggest story is
you read it.
very small, by the way.
Oh, sorry. This is big enough on my screen.
It's for ants.
Is this for ants?
All right, this is a building for ants. All right. The biggest story. What is ICYMI?
In case you might igloo. In case you
ingest.
Come on, guys. Where's the chat? In case you
might
inquire.
Inquire?
In case you missed it. There it is.
Okay. That's just too long.
Thanks, Knight. Appreciate that.
Don't even put that. The biggest story from last night's
we just totally aged ourselves right there.
But seriously, does he really need that in front of it?
Yeah,
just start with it. The biggest story from last night's Championship Cup, which I did watch, semifinal, they have actually happened before the opening kickoff between Vancouver and Inter Miami for MLS multiplex. Okay, what's the deal?
Canada was not played in Miami.
Really? Why?
Because of the growing tension between United States and Canada. So Miami only played the Star Spangled Banner because Canada is going to be our 51st state. So why even play Canada?
All right. No, it's not. Number one, nobody wants it to really be the 51st state. Nobody wants that. Let's just stop.
Yeah, they boo our national anthem. We don't got to play theirs. That's why I hear.
Everybody's getting trolled by this. This is not going to happen. Never was.
It's really for clicks, right? That's all it is.
Must be, because that's such a ridiculous. I don't even give a shit about this. Who cares? Get over it.
Come on.
Get over it. Everybody needs to get over it. They're not. Who wants them? The Democrats would love it. The Republicans would hate it. And the Republicans are the ones talking about a 51st state. No, it's all a troll.
The prime minister believes it to be true, though, so it's got to be true, right?
None of them believe it. None of them really believe it. This is just ridiculous.
There you go. PT's got it right, because it wouldn't be the 51st state. There's no way Canada would be one state, right? It's got to be at least 6,
all
7,
right.
8, 9, 10,
Who
right?
has a bigger population, Canada or California?
California, right?
Correct. Who has a bigger population, Texas or Canada?
Texas, definitely.
Yeah. So anyhow, yes, they would be the 51st state, and it would all be yes.
That's a big swing state, man. They're already swinging one way.
Provinces would turn into counties. But it's not happening.
There's got to be like 5 states in there at least.
Nah.
Right? We don't need any more Wyomings, but
I mean,
maybe more Indianas and Michigans, perhaps.
Be a bunch of fucking Rhode Islands. Yeah. We don't need it. All right. All right.
Yeah, there's not much here outside of that. But you know what? Canada got the last laugh. Vancouver kicked the crap out of Miami.
And Berhalter scored
2 assists, 1 goal.
1 goal. Brian White got another goal.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other team in MLS that's better in MLS right now than Vancouver. And that Vite guy.
Hey, Chicago tied Vancouver, so
yeah, don't jizz in your pants too early, okay? Your team sucks. Let's just face it.
Well, we don't know it's early. You just said don't jizz in your pants too early. So, Derek, you quit jizzing in your pants too early.
Stop not jizzing in your pants too early? What am I supposed to say? Well, all I can tell you is Chicago is garbage as usual. That's what they are. And now my team, which was really good last season, sucks donkey balls because they had to get rid of a bunch of
Chicago had one bad game, and then they haven't. It's been close. They're better than they were. I'll put it that much. Put it that way.
Well, this is a bullshit league where you win MLS Cup and then you have to sell or get rid of all your good players. What kind of jackass league is that? Come on. All right, let's move on. Fuck it. All right, Rude Gillett says, hey, I met with Chelsea owner Todd Bowley. I introduced myself. Hi, I'm Rude Gillett. Todd said, what do you do? What? Well, I play football. I know he has.
He doesn't have that accent. He's lie.
Dutch accent. Where I played football. Also played and coached for Chelsea. Todd said, oh, yeah? When did you play for Chelsea? What did you do for Chelsea? He didn't know. Can I blame him? No, but this is what it is now. They don't know what the club is all about. The DNA is gone. Well, Todd Bowley's a fucking moron. I mean, listen, you bought
He's
the
a
club.
fucking billionaire owner.
At least get to know the history of the club. Take a 101 history class on the club you just bought. Know the fucking history, so when the media asks you questions, you have reasonable answers. Or when Ruth Gillett approaches you, you know who the fuck he is. When Frank Lampard stops by your office, well, okay, that's more recent, but you know who he is, right? Shouldn't you know? I think basic shit. I think you should. Like, how do I know all this history about all? Okay, I guess I'm not a billionaire that just bought a club out of the blue.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, I imagine that Todd is a guy who just heard about soccer yesterday. But he's got $1 bajillion, and he's like, trying to buy this club and make $1 bajillion more. So, sweet.
And his name's Todd.
Todd.
No offense to anybody named Todd, but Todd.
American as a gift.
Todd. Todd's a middle name. It's not a first name.
Edgar Castillo for $1.99 says, Brett, we just lost 7-2. Have some respect. It was a bad game. Horrible game. Terrible game.
You got
played like shit. 60 minutes, let in 7 goals. That's less than a goal per 10 minutes. That's not a good game.
You got analyzed with exactly 0 lube in that game.
Yeah, we got it was an absolute dry job. You know, it was rough.
Yep.
Rough.
That's what you get to look forward to for the rest of the season, by the way.
Nope.
More of those.
We're making the playoffs, Derek. We're making the playoffs again.
Oh, no. Burhalter's too stubborn. Nope.
Right. No, I don't think the game plan is going to change, Derek. I just think we're going to make the playoffs. And that'll be the first time since 2017 where we lost in the first playoff into the playoffs.
Has he played anything but a 4-3-3 so far this season?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
No, his game plan's not changing. I don't believe it will ever change. I think he's married to that strategy. I just think the team will rebound. I'm not saying that we're going to win the MLS Cup. I'm not saying we're going to win the Supporters Shield. I'm just saying, hey, we'll be one of the 40 teams that make the playoffs this year.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying.
Here with Todd Bowley, to close this out, I just
think to jump back to the topic we're at hand. Yeah,
well, your team's some losers. They're a bunch of losers. Todd Bowley. I mean, I don't want to punish him anymore. But Todd Bowley just needs to know, sit down and have an hour-long movie made for you about the history of the team, and watch it. Take notes. Learn something. So when Ruud Gullit comes up to you, you know who the fuck he is. It wasn't even that long ago. Todd Bowley was well alive then.
But I mean, Derek, if it happened 4 years ago or 40 years ago, it makes no difference for Todd because he doesn't know anything about the club. So if it happened 4 years ago, it's no different.
I don't care.
You can still learn the history. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I'm just saying that it doesn't matter how long ago it was because he doesn't know shit as far as the history is concerned.
Okay, this is kind of like when we came up with the whole script for I don't know if I should talk about this. But anyhow, we came up with a whole script for the announcement of Indy 11 where it would be explained why the team was named Indy 11. 11. You might remember this. And it was all announced downtown in the circle. And instead of Ursel reading the script, he just said, the name of the team is Indy 11. And he just pulled that shit. Didn't give any context. No reasons why it was named 11. Nothing. And all the media for the next week was like,
because there's 11 players on the field.
This is the dumbest name for a team ever. When there was multiple layers of reasons why the 11th Regiment, the founding of the supporters group in 2011, there were 7 reasons we had all scoped out and scripted. Sorry, Ursula, I'm telling the story. I'm sure You won't mind, and you won't
Oh,
watch
at this point,
anyhow.
he could.
Oh, he's not watching this, so he's got better things to do.
That's fair.
Well, the Keystone Corporation was just won that huge award this year for best development company in Indiana.
He got a leg lamp.
For that?
It's a major award.
That's a big award to get voted by your peers, by the way, as the best building development company in the state of Indiana. They do build nice buildings. I will give them that. Mostly nice buildings.
They got some tall buildings up in Indy, yeah.
Well, I mean, the Carmel apartment complexes look really nice downtown.
And Noblesville is doing their best to try to duplicate that.
Those look nothing like the Carmel ones.
I'm just saying they're trying to do their best to duplicate.
Oh, so you don't probably know which are the ones that he built in Carmel. They're the ones that look like 1890s Venice.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes.
I guess I should have taken that into consideration that you are praising architecture, so it's not just going to be the box.
No, it
a
looks
couple
like
of indents and outputs.
His architecture in Carmel specifically is very thoughtful and very European looking. Yes,
man. I know it costs more and all that, but man, I really wish that more towns would enforce the builders coming in to do something that's not so quote unquote modern. Well, kind of go with a unique look,
because it starts to look like a Dr. Seuss town with all these weird ass looking green buildings that are like they're one building, but they try to make it look like several buildings.
Yeah.
And it just comes off as like, what am I? Is this a Dr. Seuss book here I'm looking at? What the fuck is this?
We're taking crazy pills.
Like, it's all one building. One building's green, the other one's one floor less, and it's purple, and the next one, what the fuck is that shit? Oh, the next one's orange, light orange. Come on. There was the funniest example of this in Noblesville, by the way, is that gas station on 37 and VP Village Pantry. If you're coming north and you take a left into town,
sure.
And you'll notice
the VP you're looking at is a little bit before going into town, but yes, you're talking about Greenfield. Yes,
it's right outside of where the big Deer Creek music center is.
No, I know the VP is on 37. It's right.
Have you ever seen those buildings behind it?
I literally lived right across the street from that building.
Have you seen
literally a stone's throw? You probably see my old house standing in their parking lot.
Have you seen the Dr. Seuss nature of those buildings?
I'm just telling you, I lived across from those buildings.
I get it. Would you agree? That looks like a fucking Dr. Seuss book.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly.
Oh my God! Please stop building that garbage, please. All right. Anyhow, let's move on.
What? We're talking about architecture here, not soccer.
I know.
That's why I'm saying.
Let's move on. All right. For the 133 of you here now, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. And I hope your stepsister's watching with you now, because she's going to have a lot of opinions tonight when we get in the last, here soon from now, the player ratings for the season in Europe. All right, here we go.
All right, we're gonna branch off to Derek's favorite league and BMR's favorite league to bust Derek's balls about. But Turkish football. Turkish football has been attracting some record-breaking attendance figures recently. Brilliant from those teams right there.
Bursaspor and don't know that one.
You might not know because one's in the 4th division, first off.
I've never seen that one before.
And the 4th division apparently attracted 45,000 fans to their game. That's fucking impressive, first off.
Okay.
That's
pretty good for a 4th division team. Where are they located?
Then we got a 5th division team here. This is that Escoborio one that you can't pronounce.
I wonder if
33,000.
If they're like the outskirts of Istanbul or something, or one of them,
like that, right?
One of the major cities, right?
But even then, though, I mean, you look at Germany, you look at England. I mean, how many 4th or 5th division teams outside of London or outside of Berlin are drawing that many fans?
That's why I was thinking it needs to be near a major city.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. I bet you anything, it's got to be right around there, right?
Like an outskirts or a suburb,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, PT sent that our way. And I said, hopefully one day, because he says someday we'll see that here. 4th or 5th division drawing that many fans.
No.
Like 30 years, 40 years down the road, USL's been doing promotion relegation. And then all of a sudden you have Tulsa who's sitting, in the 4th division of USL, and they're pulling in 30,000 fans.
I mean, anything's possible, right?
We got to overtake the major sport, right?
But it's not probable.
Not likely.
No.
Not at the 4th or 5th. I'd be happy if that just being the 1st division, quite frankly, at this point.
I mean, that's a great percentage of Tulsans.
45,000 and 33,000. Give me those numbers in our 1st divisions. I'll start there, and then we'll worry about the 4th and 5th later.
That's a lot of people that suddenly care about soccer in Tulsa.
Yeah, I guess it would take many a generation of all the soccer fans breeding and pushing their kids into soccer.
Right.
Yep. Hey, fuck that American football game. You got this worldly football game right here. So I said, hopefully one day. And then Larry says, Derek thinks MLS is above Turkey first year.
I think that was certainly true for many years up until now, but maybe they're making I don't know. I can't watch it, so I don't know. All I know is there are a bunch of really crappy Americans who've gone to Turkey and done okay. Guys whose names you can't pronounce played in Turkey for 2 or 3 seasons.
But then you have players like Tyler Boyd who couldn't crack a team because of international.
Well, he played on one of the best teams in the league.
But then you got shit canned to the bench and then off to LA Galaxy,
where he didn't do that much either.
That's fair, but did crack the U.S. men's national team
briefly,
very briefly.
Yeah,
that's a shame. Kid had promise. But
I'm not saying that Besiktas and Fenerbahce and like the best Turkish teams wouldn't be competing for MLS Cup, because they would be.
Yeah.
And the Supporters Shield. I'm just saying
you also have to remember
the bottom of the Turkish league, the bottom half, is complete garbage. And has been for a long time.
But you also take into consideration those teams, if they were in MLS, would have to abide by MLS rules.
Well, no, I'm just comparing them as they are.
Sure, but they couldn't be as they are, is my point.
Well, we're just saying if we had a country off, a club off, right, between two countries. And,
a World Cup of clubs, if you will.
Well, like the top 20 teams seeded of their league versus our top 20 teams. And I would guess we'd probably lose some of the ones at top, but we would win a lot 10, of them at the bottom. Yeah.
Take their top 10, take our top 10, just put them in a league and see where everybody falls.
Well, I think we were just talking like, and this is how tennis works, right? You like in high school and college, you have your top 12 seeds or 7 seeds if it's a different layout, or 8 seeds, and 1 through 8 plays each other on both sides, and the team that wins the most matches wins. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Kind of what I said with the top 10 versus the top 10.
No, but you said a league. I don't want to do a league. I just want to have 1 play 1, 2 play 2, 3 play 3, 4 seed play 4 seed from each group, each team, and then at the end we'll count up who wins. Kind of like
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Davis Cup in golf. Same thing.
You're speaking of foreign leagues when you say anything about golf to me. So.
Well, that's how it works in golf too.
Nope, that's fine. I can understand that then.
In Davis Cup, yeah. All right. Yeah, and then we
don't need that Leagues Cup. We're already doing it against Mexico. Maybe we branch off and invite top 10 from Turkey over.
So you get a full point for winning your match and a half point for a tie. So that's how it works in golf. So if you get down to like the 7th seed in Turkey versus the 7th seed in MLS, that's where I think it starts to change. I think the 7th seed in MLS is going to pummel the 7th seed from Turkey. I just think, well, maybe not around there, but if you did all 20, we'd probably win most of the bottom 10. And then we would compete in the middle and we'd lose some of the top, right? We'd lose against Besiktas or Fenerbahce or whoever's hot right now. Yeah. All right, anyhow.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at our chat right now.
That's easy to do.
It is. The strangest conversations going on right now. Man, we talked about this earlier with the Canadian national anthem not being played. I probably should have pulled this up then, but whatever, it is what it is. Oop, 1 second. Can't get busted for this shit. There we go. Fox Soccer says, should Whitecaps players Brian White and Sebastian Berhalter be called in by Pochettino for the Gold Cup?
I mean, we've been talking about Berhalter for 3 weeks now on this show.
Sure.
And we've been talking about Vancouver being hot for 3 weeks now. We've been talking about Brian White. I mean, listen, Brian White's just not the best pick we could bring. I understand that he's playing really well, but if we got a bunch of guys healthy, I'm not bringing Brian White. Although
Ballow's back, so this will be the first chance for Pochettino to take a look at Ballow. We got Sargent still, but then after that, who's next?
Might as well be Brian White.
Agumon?
No.
Brian
I'm
White,
taking Brian White. He's hotter than any other American striker in MLS right now.
Yeah.
You got to take an MLS guy. I'm taking Brian White. He's a great finisher. He is the Wondolowski of Vancouver.
Yeah. Fillmore says DK is greater than Brian White, except for the fact that
DK
can't remain uninjured.
He can't remain uninjured, and he's playing 10 to 20 minutes a game at best.
Downs over White. Downs has.
I would take Downs.
But has he made the pitch since his injury?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
He scored. He scored since.
Let's bring Downs in. Let's take a look at him.
Let's do that. I'd rather do Downs. Okay. But PFOC just came back from an injury, has contributed at Rems a little, but not a whole lot of goal scoring, not a whole lot of assists. So he's been so injured, it's kind of hard to think about it. He's been on, off. I don't know. So Berhalter. Now that's the real question, because I really don't think outside of Luna there's another hotter midfielder in MLS right now. And if we truly are limited, because McKennie's gonna be able to play and Reyna's gonna be at Dortmund for the Club World Cup.
Yeah. I was sitting there here's the thing though. I was sitting there going like, well, Reyna's not going to be with Dortmund at the Club World Cup, but then again, he's been getting minutes at Dortmund still.
It's weird, yeah.
So I'm like, well, maybe he is going to be there unless they transfer him really fucking quickly. But assuming that the transfer talks are going to be long and planned out, it's possible he might be there. Yeah, I wouldn't have believed it until recently when he started getting playing time. I'm just like, I don't know what's happening there. That's crazy. But yeah, I feel like if you're going to extend into MLS at that point, and Pochettino's like, it doesn't matter where you play.
Why not grab the hottest player?
That's the thing. Then you have to look at something like Sebastian. Say, well, let's give you a look.
I mean, you don't have to,
make your name.
If we're going to bring some MLS guys, I'd pick Luna and Berhalter. And if there's if you're gonna have to bring an extra striker, because I don't know, you don't want to see Downs for whatever reason that is, then I guess it's White. But I don't know.
Is the Brian White hate due to his first name being Brian, which is more suited for a librarian?
I don't know.
We've been Derek and I have been talking about Brian White for like the last 2 or 3 years.
Because he's the only American in the last 2 or 3 years contributing regular goals in MLS.
Ferrer was at FC Dallas for a bit there,
but that's been over for 2 seasons.
Yeah, he got called in during that time period. But Brian's been scoring goals quietly for Vancouver, and nobody was talking about him. But every time during Yanks Abroad and during the MLS recap and everything, Derek would be like, Brian White scored again.
Yep,
Brian White scored again. I think the hate for Brian White, if you want to call it hate, is going to be simply that he's 29 and playing in MLS at this point.
Yep.
So that's where that's where it's gonna be at.
I wouldn't put it past someone in the championship though, saying, listen, I know he's 29, but we could get 2 or 3 good years out of Brian White here in the championship and maybe get promoted.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if that happened.
And in his defense too, we're a year out before the World Cup, so we don't necessarily need a project. We don't need a 19, 20, 22-year-old or whatever striker coming up through the woodwork. We need somebody who's on fire, so that could play into his favor as we're entering that time period.
Colin Reese asks a good question. How's Berhalter better than Mihailovic? I wouldn't say technically he's any more gifted. I'd say Mihailovic is probably more technically gifted. I think Berhalter's in a hot. He's really hot right now. He's just hot. He's just hot.
He's the talk of the town right now, right?
And he's always seems to be in the right place at the right time. Where, I think the thing
Georgia had a solid fucking season last year.
That's fine. I
haven't really followed him this year, so I don't know how well he's doing.
What about the grit report? Grittiness. I'd say I'd give that one to Berhalter. I know that Colin's not going to think highly of the grittiness factor, but to me, he's kind of a gritty guy. He's a fighter. I like that about him. But anyhow, I mean, listen, we got to call it like it is. And when a guy's playing as hot as Berhalter right now and as hot as Vancouver is right now, I mean, that whole team is on fire. So, I mean, and I've watched so many of the games because a lot are late night. And there's nothing else to watch. So I'm watching Vancouver play whomever they're playing. And it's been a lot of fun to watch, I have to say. I'm becoming kind of a Vancouver fan because my fucking Galaxy sucked ball sack this year. So there you go. So anyhow, I like both players, but as far as like who's got the hot hand right now, it's got to be Berhalter's. We've been talking about him for a long time. We've been talking about it for almost a month now. Yeah, now this week, everybody's talking about him, which is odd.
I'd say the past couple weeks. I mean, I know what Lawless came out not this game against Miami, but the previous week he had mentioned, "Hey, say his name" in a tweet.
That was this week.
Well, that was this last weekend, not the Miami game.
Yeah, that's pretty recent.
Fair enough.
Just saying, we've been talking about it for 3.5, 4 weeks, maybe.
I've been saying it since week 2 because that's the week that they played Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, we've been saying he's been hot.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't say you need to necessarily get called up, but if you're going to call up MLS guys, call up the hot ones, the guys with the hot hand. That's what I want to see.
I mean, he's at a state now where even Tact is saying, "Hey, a Berhalter, I don't dislike, or I don't hate." I think is what he said.
Yeah.
So
68 people in the chat. What does that mean? Anyhow, there are 132 of you here.
68 Pumar's on YouTube, so he's probably watching YouTube. There's probably like 60 people on Twitter. 127 right now.
Yeah, so on X combined, we are at 133 right now. So thanks to all of you watching tonight on this Thursday. I mean, there's nothing else to watch tonight. You might as well be watching us. All right.
Edgar Castillo for $1.99 says Reyna is not making 2026. Says Conrad every day.
I think he's wrong. I think he's going to figure out a way to make it. If he doesn't, it'll be the most massive collapse of a talented player in my lifetime.
So Reyna's opportunity to make the 2026 World Cup is going to be based on obviously his next season.
Yep.
He's going to a new club, new scenery, and he's got to perform. If he's still getting bit minutes, then yes, he might not make it.
Right. He may not. I'm not saying he's not. He's like 100%. He's not. He get cut.
I mean, for the national team, aside from say like Luna, who's really taking a spot. I mean, Tillman's been really kind of cool with the U.S. men's national team. He hasn't really made a name for himself out there, except for when he's at PSV.
Okay. All right. Casanova says Jimmy hates Gio. I don't think he hates Gio. I think this happens a lot. You'll see this a lot. It happened to Sargent. Like Pete and Tack loved Sargent. They really did.
Oh, did? Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
The problem is their disappointment level is so high now. It is has overcome their what they thought of him. They are just so massively disappointed that especially I think with TAC, they can't see through their disappointment. We're disappointed too, but we can still look at Sargent and goes, that guy still produces on a regular basis for his club. We need to figure out how to do that for a country, because it's not like he shows up for country and takes a bunch of stupid pills and plays like a fucking moron. And it's not like he didn't hit the post last time he played. So anyhow,
it's and score a goal, but they got called offside because of Weah. Actually, quite frankly, Sargent's play with the U.S. men's national team has been fine. He's just not scoring goals, and yes, as a striker, that's a major fucking requirement. Well, but there are other aspects to the game that are vital, depending on how you play.
On Jimmy's show, they refer to Sargent's time at the national team for that game where he hit the post and scored a goal that didn't count as one of the worst games he's played.
You know what, though? Tex said that same thing, though.
Yes.
And I disagree with all of them.
I don't think it was that bad. I'm sorry.
No, here's the problem with Josh at this point, because this is not even a topic that I was expecting to dabble into. But people are really holding that the albatross that's around his neck right now. The fact that he hasn't scored since 2019, that is everybody's biggest point. He doesn't score. It was a shit game, dude. You're not scoring goals.
Well,
you're ignoring massive aspects of the game that he does.
Don't you think it has to do with how much they have backed Sargent prior to that? Even Jimmy had said Sargent's one of our best center forwards. Tax said that for a while. He's one of our best three. You keep saying that enough. Pete said it. And then they disappoint, and they disappoint, and they disappoint. They don't get the goal that you've said he has to get. And then you're just, at that point, you're just throw your hands up and say, well, fuck them then. That's what I think has happened here. Fuck them. We haven't said fuck them, but a lot of people said fuck them. I just think it's not fair.
Well, again, there's context around Sargent. I don't want to dive into this too deep. I called Sargent out for the game against Mexico. I said he played like shit in that one.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody harped on his half against Panama the first time, like just before the Mexico game, the one that we ended up winning. And Pepe came in, he scored a goal immediately. Sargent had a shankopotamus where he should have put 9 times out of 10 he would have put that in the goal.
Yes,
but he shanked it. Sucks again. That albatross is just weighing down on him at that point. But then again, he made another opportunity that required a great save. But the rest of the game, he was making good connecting passes. He was holding up the ball. He was doing the stuff that a target striker is asked to do. Now, mind you, and I've said this also, he needs to fucking score. But if he doesn't score, I can still look at his game and say, well, he did X, Y, and Z fine. That's fine.
You know how I always talk about you can't get over-invested in any player?
Sure.
I think they did. And when their investment gets trodden on, they almost take it personally. We've been around this a long time. We were doing this show where Conrad was still almost still playing. Okay?
Yeah.
I think what they have failed to realize is you're going to be disappointed. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Like, he's still a really good player. He played 19 games and scored 11 goals this season. He can't be that bad. He's a really good player. He just doesn't suddenly become an imbecile when he plays for the U.S. men's national team. Maybe, listen, a lot of guys played like shit in that game. Not just him, but we're going to lay it all on Sargent. I think we got to be fair about this and say lots of people played like shit in that game. And it wasn't just Sargent who was the shitter. Has to be the only one that eats shit. I guess is my point. All right. That's it.
I don't know.
Let's move on.
To bring it back to the circle, to the talking point with Gio, which was that super chat with him. I think everybody with this, and even you had this a little bit with Gio.
I did. Yeah.
In the sense that He came in, he played, and we're sitting there going like, well, that was a big old nothing burger. That was a bad game by him because he didn't do anything. I'm like, well, he maintained possession. He moved to open positions. The ball never fucking came to him. And you brought this up also many times. They never played through him. They played around him. And the plays that he had very few options to move the ball forward. But we had this idea, this image of Gio, this offensive beast that's going to create opportunities. And he's not creating opportunities, so that game must have sucked, right? Well, it wasn't great to watch, but he didn't do anything bad.
He didn't do anything bad, but then he played the last game, which I did based on other people telling me, Derek, that's the first Gio game you skipped. It's the one you need to go watch.
Did you go back and watch it?
Yes. It was good.
He played well?
He was good. Yeah.
All right. Look at that.
So they were right. It's the first one. And that's me letting my disappointment get to me.
Hey, then my talking point of he's just coasting to the end of the season is moot at this point because he played a good game, and that builds onto your point that he needs to start selling himself because he is switching teams. There we go.
Well, I didn't know there was 9 extra minutes of extra time either. You know, I didn't look at that. I just saw, he came in late, right? So then he ends up playing over 15 minutes in the game, 20 minutes of the game almost. So I had to go back and watch it, and it was the best game he's played for a good long time. So could we get more of that? And are they going to play him now that he did what he just did? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. They do play this weekend, I believe, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should. Yeah.
We'll see. Nibble for $2. The fitter I get, the more attracted to big
boned women.
Or big boned women?
Yeah.
Because BBC's big black cock, right?
Yeah.
Big black
or
women.
the British Broadcasting Channel or company.
So BBW is just big bone woman?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's big black women. That'd be offensive, right?
I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know what BBWs are.
Ah, beautiful. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Big, beautiful women or beautiful big women. It's big, beautiful women is what Tony said.
Okay. Okay. I prefer not big.
Pass.
That's just me. I did date a 6'2", 6'3" woman once.
I say, you said, I thought it was black. I go, well, big black women I feel would be offensive, but I guess big boned women would be offensive.
I don't know these.
Julian, trust me, I'm going to get to your super chat because it's going to play into our next topic here. But just say fat chicks.
I mean, I would say I dated a basketball player, right? She lived with me for 2 years. So
that's a TFW. That's a tall fucking woman.
Yeah, I was, what was I, 26? She was 18 years old. But anyhow, yeah, really tall. It was a little awkward, certainly awkward.
But that's not what BBW is, though.
Right, a 6'3" woman.
As Fumar mentioned, BBW is just politically correct way to say woman fat.
Mm-hmm.
Call a woman fat. I felt like it'd be better actually if it was just like politically way to say woman fat.
Yeah,
I think it sounds better.
No, she played for the IU basketball team. She was not fat.
All right, so
Julian Vivas for $4.99. Arriba. What do you guys think of Kevin Sullivan training with Man City? I think that's fabulous. To me, Kevin will be Freddie Adu 2.0. I don't think he will be because there is no way he can fail that poorly. I mean, honestly, could he be that bad? I just think that Kevin, by the way, if you know anything about Freddie and Freddie's own story, and he wrote his own story, I think it was on Sports Illustrated. It's like a big, long story about his own failures, and he takes it on him to himself. He did no work. He didn't practice. He didn't try. He wasn't really that invested in the sport, and he was more interested in playing FIFA on his PlayStation than he was in training for the next game or preparing for the next game. And he said, it's all on me. I wasn't invested in the game. The game didn't interest me that much. And let's face it, he was also pretty self-invested in himself in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like he really thought highly of himself. And you can't go in there now. Now, we're just hoping that Kevin stays balanced, isn't thinking that highly of himself. And I don't think anyone around him, hopefully they won't let him get there. But he seems like he loves soccer, which Freddie Adu did not love soccer. So that's the problem for Freddie.
I think the issue with Freddie, because obviously I think Freddie loved soccer until he got to a point where he was making a shit ton of money and he kind of just fell in love with the hype.
Yes.
You know,
and himself.
He kind of coasted at that point. You know, he was on his 20th U20 World Cup. And it was just like, at that point, it was just a marketing gimmick. There we go, words. Whereas Kevin, I see the drive in Kevin, quite frankly, and
I do too.
And he's got that younger brother syndrome, where he's got an older brother who's playing the game, playing well, quite frankly, for Philly. But he, Kevin probably grew up playing soccer against his brother every fucking day. That drive is there. So I think Kevin's not going to be Freddie 2.0. I am concerned that he might get lost in the lone army.
He will for a while. He'll go play League One. Yeah, he will.
Yeah, that's my concern. I think the move to City this young of an age, I think, is a little silly. And I'm not a big fan of these moves anymore. It was nice when you heard Gaga got $8 million to go to Chelsea. Yeah, but he's going to Chelsea, and I'd rather him get consistent playing time.
$8 million
wants him.
$8 million at Chelsea is like that's exactly. Like shit out of their cushions in their fucking. So the other thing is, I want to be really clear about this, Brett, that Freddie Adu had 3 of the bad 4 things we talked about early in this show. He had vanity.
Definitely vanity. Yeah.
He had naivety about what it would take to be a superstar.
What it requires to be, yeah.
And he was led towards idealism. Oh, you're a Man U player. Oh, you're a Chelsea. You're a Premier League player. All right. That's all shit that fucked with his brain. So you can't have 3 out of the 4 sins, or not sins, whatever they are, Derekisms, that you can't have those and be a successful player. I do not see currently, maybe a little vanity on Kevin's part. I don't know how naive he is, and I'm not sure how idealistic he is yet. But the people around him need to make sure that doesn't happen.
But I mean, from what I've seen of Kevin and the hype, the media hype around him, is it vanity, or is it just a level of cockiness at this point?
It's cockiness, but there's some vanity in cockiness usually. And that's fine, but it's got to be balanced by realism and idealism.
Humility in there, if you will, yeah.
And I think that it's got to also be balanced by a chip. Like, you think of Dempsey. Was he a little vain about the way he played when he showed up at Fulham? Yeah. He was doing all that fancy footwork shit when he first got there. He stopped doing that later, right? The step arounds and all that shit, because his teammates were like, hey, Clint, don't do that, dude.
I do what I want.
It's really ridiculous. Please don't do that.
From bumfuck Texas, I'll do whatever the fuck I want.
But once he dropped, and that was a bit of idealism on his part and naivety, but you can get over those things, and he did. And as far as absolute vanity, he got over that too. Like, Clint became a chip grinder, fucking bulldog player. And that's what you got to be if you're going to succeed there.
I guess the one thing I want to talk about here, because I mean, obviously the training with the City thing is something that Fabrizio had mentioned. He's like, yeah, he's going to train at City, but he's not moving in until 2027 or whatever it is, whatever year it is. Yeah. And it's just like, what? Why is he going to City then at this point? Oh, he's going to train.
Right.
But I mean, during it's during MLS Next. Who really cares about MLS Next Pro? But I mean, he is also vying for potential minutes at Philly at this point. It might be bit minutes, but
Which, by the way,
is he just going over there for like a couple weeks and then coming back and playing more, trying to play more? I mean, what is this?
All right. So, how long until he's 16?
Any day, I imagine. It's got to be right around the corner.
I think if you're really as good as advertised, you should be getting regular minutes for Philly next season. No doubt before you leave for Man City.
No, it's fair. I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. He has to be. Right. If he's that skilled, he needs to be getting regular minutes at Philly.
Either City has to say, bro, either you guys play him or we're going to bring him over here and put him in our academy system.
Although we say that, and Joe Scally couldn't buy any minutes at your NYCFC and immediately became a starter in Germany.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's weird.
I feel like Philly has an eye for youth talent on their team. They give them opportunities and work them in a little slow at first. I mean, Paxton was barely getting minutes, and then he made the move over to Europe. Now, mind you, he wasn't an immediate starter with Frankfurt. He got some starts, I guess, for Frankfurt, but he got chipped off eventually. But then he became a starter at a different club.
Yep.
So I mean,
and listen,
I guess the question would be: Are they gonna progress him slowly? Or are they gonna progress him a little quicker? I mean, does Philly feel like they need to because they've already made the sale?
I think the real question is, Fred, is do they want to? Because it's always a risk playing a player that young. Like when you've got a 28-year-old who you're going to get the job done with. Now you're going to replace him with a 16-year-old who could, but still has not played enough minutes in the big boy league to really know if they're going to give you the results you need. So, there's that.
That's why you, instead of giving him like 3 minutes at the end of the game, maybe you start putting him in there for 15 minutes, especially when you're already up like 2-3-0.
Hey, listen, I agree with you. I'm just telling you the mentality right now in MLS is like, oh shit, those young guys, we'll throw them in when we're up 3-0 with 5 minutes left. That's where we're at right now.
To jump back to Chicago, but man, we got Guti, we got
Guti's not 15, 16 years old.
But he's been playing for the last 2-3 years now.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know if you had any other options, honestly.
Yeah, we had what's his fucking face from Switzerland? What are you talking about?
No, they played at the same time together.
I know they worked it in there. Yes. No, Guti got to play because he was good. He was good enough for MLS. Let me phrase that.
Yes.
But so if the players are good enough, they'll play them. But to your point, I mean, Kevin's going to be a creative midfielder type. I mean, you're likely going to have spent money on a creative midfielder type. So, but my point would be is, well, then you start working them in for more, 15 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 20 minutes there, But if Philly's already made that sale, do they really feel inclined to work him in like they normally would have?
My point being, unless they really think he's going to help them win right now, what's the point of developing him? Unless there's some something in the deal that says they get a bigger kickback and further sales, which there is that in there. Mm-hmm. And so maybe developing them now will get you more money later because you'll get 15% of the next sale, So there's that to think about.
I mean, Man City won't sell him unless he just comes out and outright balls,
Oh, well, they're not going to sell him right away. They're going to play him in League One, then they'll play him in the championship. He'll be part of the loan army. And then, if he ever plays a game for Man City, it'll be a minor miracle, honestly. I'm sorry. It is. It will be, and I'll be happy for him. But it will be a minor miracle. And as for Mateus Albert, listen, I really like this kid. I like him a lot. I think his route makes a lot more sense than Kevin Sullivan's because he's playing and he's moving up the ranks fast. And I just think going to Dortmund and going to the Bundesliga in general, where they have no fear of playing young players, give them a shot. I mean, look at Paxton Aronson when he got to, Frank, they played him.
Yeah.
They played him a lot. They gave him a chance immediately. They started him, for crying out loud, in some games. So, that's where you go to play. You're going to Man City. If you're Kevin Sullivan, again, your chances of ever playing for the big boy team, even as a regular bench guy, are probably 5% right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I hate to say this because, I mean, you mean most players and definitely the agents would never say no when, City comes a knocking. But the agent, I feel like, kind of did him dirty here because using Matisse as an example here, who's now being called up into Dortmund too, and he's the same age, same way of developing and everything.
Right.
You have to imagine that the agent, instead of looking for that big payday, should have been looking for what's going to benefit my player here.
Yeah.
In the long run, because he's set to make more money over the course of his entire. Matisse Albert's agent's going to make a lot more money with him working his way to Dortmund long term than Kevin getting shuffled off to League One Championship here.
Yep, where he can play for Scunthorpe United.
Exactly. So it's. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough for me to say. It's easy for me to say this, and it's tough for the player to sit there and turn down a potential signing with Man City or any major team. But I mean, it is something you have to look at and say, like, well, what are my odds here? I mean, you may have all the confidence in the world in yourself as a player, but you have to sit there and say, well, is this going to be the best thing for me long term?
Right. By the way, Kobe's right. Scunthorpe is in the National League. I was joking around. Sorry. They'd be happy to be in League One. As far as this thing to even be considered to join the U23 squad at 15, I'm not sure about this considered thing. He's either going to be or he's not. And they've already made that decision. There's the considering part. I don't like that language from Mr. Underrated.
Anyway. Yeah.
Huh?
It's the end of the season anyways. It's not going to happen until next season regardless.
Right. So, if he's playing for the U21s next season, no biggie. He's 15 fucking years old.
Yeah.
Now, when he's 16, if he's playing, or 17, he's playing for the U23s. But we have seen guys named Pulisic and Reyna both play for the big boy team at 16 years old. Mm-hmm. So it can happen. That could be next season. But I would.
But to your point, even if you were to say go up to the 21s,
yeah,
he's still 15/16. It's okay.
I think he's already played games for the U21s, so that's done.
Yeah.
That's already done. So the big move for him is from moving from the U21s to the U23s. Could it happen? Yes. But this report is a know-nothing report. No offense. Because the whole considering part, well, I mean, shit. Who are you talking about is making the considering? I mean, that's so general. I mean, if you're telling me the U23 coach they were deciding, or the coaching staff for all the youth teams were making that decision, fine. We don't even get that much information. So I wish Matthias Albert we're calling him Albert, by the way. We have been here the whole time, and I imagine that's how he pronounces it. But if it isn't, let us know. If it's pronounced Albert, let us know. I'd be surprised if it were, but let us know.
He's saying it's almost been confirmed. I mean, has Dortmund come out? The technical director basically said, "Yeah, we're really keeping an eye on this Matisse Albert guy." Bring him up.
There's nothing stopping him from playing both U21 and U23 games next season.
Sure. Fair enough.
So he could go back and forth depending. We've seen that before. So we've seen guys go up to Bundesliga, the big boy Bundesliga team, and then go play U23 games. It happens.
Yeah.
Cole Campbell did it.
Yep. So, Croatian football is reporting after getting stuck in traffic due to an accident, Rokas parked his car, rode a bike, and then fell into a manhole.
Jesus Christ.
And eventually ran across split to make their morning training session. A wacky turn of events for the American. And we come up with a lot of goofy lore, if you will.
Yeah.
And the kicking of the dog, all that stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you and I could have come up with something as ridiculous as this.
Well, it's pretty ridiculous. At the same time, the other ridiculous part is that Mr. AC Milan, that's coaching the team, doesn't really seem to have a lot of faith in him. He only got he came in at halftime last game for Hajduk Split, but he's been coming off the bench a bit. He did get a start the week before that, but even before that, he's getting 5 or 10 minutes and sometimes not playing at all. So what's going on there? I guess is the question with him. He's got bigger fish to fry than this day of falling into a manhole, which usually can kill you, but you know, depending on how deep the hole is. But yeah.
So it's like there was a news report saying, Rooks was late to practice, but there's no news about it. So the Croatian football handle said, well, you know, he got caught in traffic. He parked the car, rode a bike, and fell into a manhole. You know?
I don't believe the manhole part. I'm sorry. I really don't.
It is a lost in translation here type of thing. But I mean, my response to it was like, I gotta go. Timmy, I'm sorry that your leg's hurting, but old Ruckus over here, sir, it's pronounced Rokus. Rokus apparently fell into a manhole and still made the practice. You know,
Fumar says
not that type of manhole. Okay,
falling into a manhole sounds like a gay band name. Yeah.
And it said falling in reverse. It's falling into a manhole. Yeah.
He did not. If you get to read the translation in a different way, he didn't fall into a manhole. I
hope my stepsister doesn't have a manhole.
No, he got tripped up and fell from a not a manhole, but what's the big major bumps in a road? The hole. Holes in the road.
Like the drain for the sewage and stuff like that?
No, shitty roads. Potholes.
Yeah.
So I think
it's a lost in translation thing. Yeah, it's possible.
It is definitely a lost in translation thing. As far as I understand it, it was not a manhole. It was a pothole. Destroyed his bike. He crashed into a pothole, and then he had to run the rest of the way. Not a manhole. He didn't fall into a fucking manhole.
What is this? Looney Tunes? What's happening here?
I know. All the way down the manhole. Then they had to
I
get
just
guys.
imagine him running through the sewer all the way to practice.
They had to call
popping the manhole up right outside the field.
They had to call in the local sewer guys to lower a ladder down there so he could climb out. He didn't fall in a manhole. He hit a pothole. That fucking trashed the bike, and then he had to run. So, bad translation.
Fumar says, if I open a gay bar, I'd call it the manhole. I wouldn't be surprised if there's already a gay bar out there called the manhole.
Oh, there's gotta be.
Has to be.
We're not looking it up, though. But
no fucking way. Dude.
That would take
I don't want that on my Google search. Come on now.
No, I don't worry about that.
Who knows what's going to pop up?
But I do worry about what would pop up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big picture of a dude's asshole.
Don't need that, Ellen. Let me share my screen first, guys.
Yeah.
The manhole. Oh my God, we just got canceled. Shit.
Yes, exactly. All right. What else we got? Should we start covering the players?
Transfer news. Who's getting mounted on transfer news? Who's getting over on transfer news? Everyone loves that transfer news, but me. Whatever.
Oh, God. All right. Yes, this is worth covering for sure.
Yeah, absolutely is.
Because it's my boys and my team. Fulham have spoken about bringing Harvey Elliott back to Craven Cottage as Liverpool look at U.S. men's national team left back Anthony Robinson. This rumor's been going on and building all
almost
season.
As long as the Pulisic to Liverpool rumor.
You know,
or the West End to Tottenham.
There are rumors. There are two rumors out there right now, by the way.
Yeah.
One, Anthony Robinson didn't even dress last game.
Oh, he's out. He's out the door already.
He's not injured.
No.
So if he does play any more the rest of the season, I mean, if he doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised. They're going to keep him healthy so they can sell him.
Yeah, I mean they're probably looking at it going, we're 9 points out of getting the Europa spot, and we're not going to get relegated. So,
do we really want to play in Europa League though?
Well, no, that's not, my point would be in this situation is that they have no chance for the Europa League spot at this point. 9 points. I mean, they've got to be hoping for some fucking magic.
I mean, the season's over. Why risk them? You're
exactly right.
Sell them, right?
Yep.
So
that's why he's not even on the bench.
Nope. Didn't even dress. No injury report. Not on the injury report.
Fulham is already spending that money. They're going, all right, we're going to get X amount of tens of million here.
Well, they already found their replacement.
Yeah. They're looking where they can spend them.
It's been great playing his position, by the way.
They're looking at where they're going to spend that money elsewhere on the pitch.
Yes, that's true. I'm just saying they already found their guy. They've used him and started him twice this season. He's played really well, Sessegnon. So they don't need another guy there. As you say, they're looking for another guy elsewhere.
Let us spend some
because
money,
they're probably going to lose. They're probably going to lose another couple players this season, by the way.
Sure, that'll happen.
Yep.
Not a hell. Even the top teams lose players.
Yep. So.
Yeah, this one doesn't surprise me. Again, we've been, it's the worst kept secret, ever. It's been like 2 years running. They've been talking about it.
Is it me, or is this picture of Jedi make him look like he's a giraffe? That is the longest neck in the history outside of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Not only that, but I mean, his neck is like the same width as his head.
Yeah.
So it just goes straight up, minus his ears, of course.
Look at my neck.
Yeah.
I barely have one compared to him.
I mean, I've got the big ass headphones, so I mean, it looks like I've got depth to my head.
God, that's a long neck. That's a long neck. I've never really noticed
if he wants to shrink it up a bit, I mean, you could get a big old bushy beard, and that'll hide a little bit of the neck.
I think it's the angle of the camera. Just makes him. This looks odd. It looks weird.
If his head was turned, looking to his straight ahead, actually, not even to his right, but so it's more of a profile, it would look normal. Because the fact of the matter is, you have this long fucking stretching line right here. Well, you
yeah.
Right here. This long stretching line. That's what makes it look so fucking long.
Yeah. That it's not so long on the other side. Okay. Robinson's form has fallen since February. It has. He hasn't been as good. He's had a couple games that were good, but
he had an injury, and then he came back and has not been as solid as he was the rest of the season, if I recall correctly.
He had some good moments. But yeah, it's not the same guy we saw for most of the season. Let's just put it that way. All right.
Yeah.
I think he knows he's leaving too. So.
Oh yeah, 100%. He knows he's out the door too.
Right.
Well, and again, it's I imagine it's one of those situations where Fulham's like, I mean, you the price tag is just too great.
Right.
You got to sell while you're high, buddy.
And he's 27. You got to sell now.
Yeah. So planning for the future.
Yep. All right. Are we going to do players now? Yes. So
no, we're not.
What? We're not?
No, I'm dictating the show, Derek. Hey, Derek, we're going to cover the leagues now.
Oh, okay. Good. So we're going to cover all the major players, and some of you will think some minor ones.
French players, yeah.
And this is our grading system. Just make sure that as you read this, you're replacing the word game with the word season. So a howler of a season. Ghosted all season, mostly poor all season, erratic, consistent, good and bad all season, contributed here and there during the season, made a positive difference all season, one of the standouts of the game all season, best player on his team all season, best player on the pitch all season. Well, that's a hard one to get to. That means you were the best player on the pitch all season or close to it. Yeah.
Oh, on the pitch, I guess it includes both teams. Yeah.
Right,
okay, never
right.
mind. Never mind. I was gonna say, if you're the best player on the pitch, if you're best player in the team, technically that means you're the best player on the pitch. But I guess
not against the other guys.
Everyone.
Yep, exactly. So this is our grading system, which we'll keep up as we go through the players.
Sort of. We'll try.
We'll try.
I got to shuffle back and around,
Well, we got to pop it back up once we pick the team. Sure. There are no Americans on any team until we get to Fulham.
Well, we just got done talking about Jedi.
Pretty easy, Jedi. I mean, if we go back to our thing, I'd say he's one of the standouts of the season for the team. I don't know if he was the best player on the team, but it was close. So I'd give him between an A and an A-. Although he dropped off at the end of the season after February.
Yeah, you gotta take into consideration the length of the season itself, and there's always going to be spells of players disappearing and ghosting and not playing well, but also playing well. Made a positive difference. I mean, I think his season was better than that. So yes, it has to be at least an A-.
A- at minimum. One of the standouts of the team for the season, for sure. Which is why he's leaving, probably for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean, I guess
for me,
could you be a better player and go to a lesser team? It's possible, but I mean, if Liverpool comes a knocking,
I mean,
you had to have a solid fucking couple seasons there, right?
I mean, if you just take the season in totality and average it out, he's still the best left back in the Premier League, in my opinion.
But I mean, even taking the last 2 seasons, I mean, he's been massive for Fulham. So
yeah, all right. So A- for, and then we scroll down and we get to Bournemouth, and we have Tyler Adams. I'd say he made a pretty positive difference for Bournemouth for a good stretch of the season.
Yeah. Yeah, we look for him on the pitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Bournemouth fans may not necessarily be looking for him on the pitch in his performances, because I could sit there and say, like, well, from what I've seen and from what I've heard, he's pretty fucking solid for most of the matches that I've seen and heard from.
Yeah, I mean,
could you say between a B+ and an A- from our standpoint?
I'd say B+. I mean, he did have some stinkers. But so did Jedi. Everybody's going to have stinkers during a season, though. Everybody. But generally, when he came on and he was available, Bournemouth got way better for a long stretch. So I'm going to say overall a B+. Made a positive difference to the team.
Johnny for $2 says, how many U.S. players don't remind you of Kane?
Who the fuck is Kane? That's the thing about Johnny. We love you, man, and thanks for $2. But I always have to ask you to interpret his shit.
Adams equals Urkel Kane. Kanye?
Urkel.
That's C-A-N-Y.
Oh, Urkel.
Well, Kane is supposed to be Kanye.
No, Urkel, the character in the series.
But it's Steve Urkel. It's not Urkel Kane.
Oh,
he means Kanye.
He can't spell Kanye?
Well, he mixed the Y's in the end.
What the fuck? Okay.
He's combining Urkel and Yee.
I mean, that's interesting, but I don't think either of those two guys play soccer. So kind of.
I mean, I loved his. I mean, whenever he mentioned that Adams and Steve Urkel, that's hysterical.
I mean, I'm not gonna ever just because Adams speaks phonetic white English or whatever you want to call that, standard Midwest English. Who cares? I don't care.
I don't even know that's necessarily what he's referring to in that sense.
I don't know what he's referring to. But
I don't know. He calls it, Steve Urkel was skinny. He had that same type of Tyler Adams haircut. I don't know.
All right. Smart. He says,
Adams, he's pretty smart.
He says he thinks he's a dick sucker.
Yeah, he's being a massive pussy.
I don't think.
I don't know if you've watched Adams in EPL, man. He's anything.
He's
but
definitely not a massive pussy in the EPL. I'm sorry.
Good Lord, man. He gets in. People were even talking about, like, why, when he was with Leeds, like, why? Oh, it's another week and Adams is getting into a stupid kerfuffle he doesn't need to be getting into. So
I think that was pretty good this season. I watched every game. So
more like Carlton. That's fair enough comparison too there. If Carlton was good at soccer, of course.
Yeah. All right. What else we got? Let's move on.
Moving on.
We don't want to be here all night. Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace. Chris Richards. I think he contributed here and there. But it balances between that C and B because
I think I'm gonna go C on that. Yeah, it's erratic.
Yeah,
it's inconsistent, it's good and bad. Not to mention, I mean, just he had a spell of injuries too in there, right?
Yep.
So I mean, it wasn't.
There was
he had some really good games, especially later in the season here.
It was good and bad. They're bad and good. So yeah, C.
CB.
Too much.
Yeah,
too
let's
much.
go B- because you didn't add a B- in there.
I didn't. What the hell was I thinking?
Well, fair enough. You don't have a C+ either. You skipped 2 grades.
I know.
Back to back.
I'm a horrible teacher.
No one gets an A in my class.
All right, I got.
It's too erratic. I mean, there'd be weeks where we'd be talking like, "Oh my god, he freaking balled out in this game," and then next week it'd be like, his side let in like 3 goals.
He did score a couple goals.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, C. C in the Premier League, though. Let's keep that in mind.
Wait, hold on. We missed Crystal Palace. We missed Turner.
Matt Turner. He just ghosted.
Ghosted. Well, it's not however. Yeah, ghosted.
He didn't play.
In the couple games he did actually play, he didn't do badly, right?
It's only 2 or 3. It's not enough to make up the difference.
Yeah.
Don't even joke about that, Spencer.
For 469, Derek loses his teaching license. LOL. Or laughing out loud.
I'm not going to lose my teaching license. I've taught college.
The teachers union are like, this fucking teacher doesn't know that there's a B- and a C+ grade you can get.
Oh, that's what he's saying. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he's not talking about anything you say on the show. I'm sure he's talking about.
No, I'm just
talking. You fucked up the grading system here. Like, there's no D+, D-. There's only an F.
I got school swatted. That's all I'm saying.
All right. How more in depth can we possibly go with these grading systems?
I'm not going into that.
Down like C's, D's, and F. I mean, it's just like one grade in there, right?
No, I'm not going into that story any further. But yeah.
Yeah. So Turner was definitely a D. I'd say ghosted. He wasn't played. Simple as that.
Yep.
Simple as that.
That's it.
That's everyone. Yeah.
All right. Let's do championship next.
Oh, I didn't pull a championship. We'll have to do. Let me pull up.
Mm-hmm.
EFL. Not goals, dum. This is dangerous doing on the fly, by the way.
I know.
Who knows what's going to pop up on my autofill?
Yeah. Whatever porn starts with E.
EF.
EF. Yeah. All right. Leeds. Yeah. We got Brendan Aronson. I'm going to give him a B for contributing here and there.
I'm going to have to go C. Erratic.
I think
because there were games where Dark Brendan showed up, especially early in the season, but as the season progressed, I mean, I think regular Brendan started showing up more.
He wasn't ever bad though. He just was there, and he just contributed here and then there, and that's it. He didn't do much, but
everyone's giving him a C.
I don't think he was erratic. He was just himself. He wasn't
He's
bad.
Pretty erratic on that pitch or stuff.
But he wasn't bad. He wasn't inconsistent. He gave the same shit for almost all the games he played, almost 40 games this season. So,
well, I guess that inconsistency comes down from whether it's Brendan or Dark Brendan, because he may have done the same thing over and over again every match, but there are going to be some matches where it's just that doesn't produce anything.
So let's go with
anything good.
You give him a C, I give him a B. We'll give him a B- between the two of us.
Yeah,
or a C plus.
Whatever.
Or
It's somewhere in between.
B minus, C plus, somewhere around there, right?
We got a C plus by 11 inks.
I personally going with a B minus. All right.
Al Weinstein says it's a B at least.
Yeah.
B minus consistency there, or consistently there. It's right. It's right in that area, right?
He really should have contributed more goals.
And Al said, "Hey, they got promoted, and he started all the fucking time." And
I agree.
So maybe that's a good argument for a B, or maybe that's a good argument to say B minus instead of the C plus.
It's definitely a B minus, at least. I'm just saying, God, he could have done more. He really could have. Like, instead of having 10 Dark Brendan games, he need to have 30.
Yeah.
Right? And we only got 15, 10 of them. Half of the games was Dark Brendan. The other 15, he just ran around a lot and didn't really contribute any goals or assists. And that's as a CAM for your team. The most important distributive position on the pitch. All right. Burnley.
It's a shame that Trusty still wasn't at Sheffield United, maybe vying for a playoff spot. Go back into EPL at this point.
Fuck, Trusty lost his starting spot. The Scales. He hasn't played for 3 games. All right.
I'm just saying he'd probably still have a starting spot at Sheffield, who'd be vying for a EPL spot.
Would he?
So,
I don't know. The way he played at the end of the season.
We'll see how that happens. But yeah.
But dude, you're playing for Celtics, should be dominating. Burnley.
Show, right?
Colio. Oh, this one's easy. Well, still eligible.
Eligible, I guess, yeah.
He got a D.
He
ghosted the whole season. Barely played. Played.
I mean,
and when he did,
you could almost say it was a howler of a season then.
Yeah, because when he did play, it was C minus, mostly poor. And the other times he played, other games he was just ghosted because he didn't get to play.
Yeah.
So it was a howler. It was a howler of a season for him for sure. That's an F.
Let's give him an F. Yeah. I mean that's about as F as it can get, right?
Right.
So. All right, moving on down.
Keep going. Coventry. We got Haji Wright. And Haji, when healthy, made a total positive difference on that team all season. So I'm giving him a B plus.
Yep. No, I'm cool with that.
Yep.
Well, I mean, obviously it wasn't a huge standout season because he was injured for a healthy chunk there.
Yep.
But yeah, no, absolutely came in.
Haji Wright is who we're on right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, was he a standout in some of the games he played this season? Absolutely was.
A fucking hat trick in there, right?
But when you're injured that much, I can only give you a B plus because, you weren't there enough to be a standout in enough games to get the A minus or the A. So a B plus.
Al's given an A minus. Johnny with a B plus. Nye with a B plus. B plus by Wesley. Spencer A minus and Wuxia A minus.
It sounds like we're all pretty close together.
I think so.
Yeah.
Brendo is Mark from Step by Step. Is that the young one with glasses or whatever?
I don't know that show.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen Step by Step since I was a young kid and I was on TGIF. Yeah. He's the one with glasses. Johnny, that's impressive. One, you remember the show, but 2, that you remember the fucking kid's name. Did you have to Google that?
Jesus Christ.
Step by step, day by day, day by day.
I don't know that show at all.
No, I used to watch TGIF. That was during my heyday of a Ute. Thank goodness it's Friday night.
Yeah, when you were a Ute, I was in high school.
Watch yourself some Family Matters. Full House is on, but Full House and Family Matters. It was Step by Step, and there was something else. I forgot what the 4th show was.
By then, I was watching Seinfeld. Anyhow, next.
You were already in college.
I know.
And out of college, probably at the point. Yeah,
exactly.
Boy Meets World. Was it Boy Meets World? Yeah. Okay, that was a good lineup for younger kids, of course, not as an adult.
All right, next player.
Hanging with Mr. Koopa.
I didn't watch any of those shows.
That's fair. Middlesbrough.
I'm too old. Yeah, Middlesbrough. Next is this Aiden Morris.
Aiden Morris.
By the way, we're just doing this from memory tonight, folks. No list. Doing it from memory. All right. I'd say he B+ made a positive difference for the team. He did have some games where he was a standout, but it wasn't enough.
He's
so
also
I'm giving
injured for a healthy chunk too, though.
Yeah. So I'm giving him like Middlesbrough were better when he was on the team than when he was not.
I guess it's got to be the same category as Hodge in that sense, right? You know, when he was playing, when he wasn't injured, he was making a positive difference. I would have to say B+ too.
Yep. Next.
Yep.
Let's not mull on these too long. West Brom DK.
Oh, DK, yeah. Oops. I guess ghosted because he's been injured like 99% of the time.
He played a bit, but it's mostly ghosted. Yeah.
Sorry, DK. The D for DK is due to
ghosting, not being there.
Ineligible.
Yeah, that could be the other incomplete.
Put an incomplete in there. Yeah, that could be an I. But I mean, if we have to go off of the categories we have, it was ghosted because he didn't play.
We can add an I. I is incomplete. I for incomplete.
Because I mean, it'd be harsh to give him a D the same way that we were giving Koleosho a D or an F.
But
because Koleosho was available to play.
I get it, but DK did play like 5 or 6 games at the end of the season. He got 15, 10, 20 minutes. Sure. Didn't do much. So Ghost is probably better. I don't know. Probably better. But for the whole season,
I can't imagine rating somebody based off of a couple games at the end of the year.
5 or 6 games. Couples 2.
Couple games worth of minutes. How about that?
All right. Norwich, we got Sargent.
Got Sargent.
Best player on his team. A. And many times the best player on the pitch.
Yeah, it just depends, I guess. But yeah, overall season, it's got to be an A.
Yep, it's an A. Yep.
Nye says A+ gold star.
He often was the best player on the pitch, except for the few times Sainz was the best player on the pitch. But yeah,
A+. Got a lot of A+.
A's, I think, fair. He's injured so much. We got to subtract some points for that.
Yeah, it's just, when you're saying best player on the pitch, I mean that's a lot of the games. Again, there's that case, right?
It was, yeah, but not all of them. Not enough. He definitely was the best player on his team.
He was hurt. He was definitely hurt for a bit there.
Yeah.
So
definitely the best player on his team.
Yeah.
Hands out. Closest one is Sainz. And they're both
as A-, just not on the field enough.
Yeah.
He missed a bit of the season. Hell, he missed a bit of the season and still ended up tied for third for goal scorer of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was healthy the entire time, he would have ran away with it.
And by the way,
Norwich probably could have potentially been vying for a playoff spot.
Sargent and Sainz are gone. They're leaving.
Oh, yeah, absolutely gone.
They are not going to be on Norwich next season.
We know Sargent's not going to be back, but I would be honestly shocked if Sainz does not leave.
Yeah, he's leaving.
Honestly shocked.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving down. Stop me at this point because I don't.
Yeah, I will. I'll stop you. Keep going. Stoke, Gooch.
Yeah, I thought Stoke was a Gooch, yeah.
Severely injured most of the season. Did play a good handful of games. I would just say he contributed, or he was contributed here and there when he was healthy, but he was so injured for large portions of the season. I'm going to drop him a grade down to C+.
Okay, that's fair. I'm going to take your word for that because I did not track him at all.
Yeah, I just watched a couple of his games. I went back and watched him. It's not that he played poorly. He just wasn't at Preston. You could, because he played most of the season before he moved to MLS, and that would be Squarehead, plays at Houston. Oh, shit, forgot his name. The guy that yelled at Berhalter at practice.
Oh,
Dwayne Holmes.
Dwayne Holmes, thank you. Yes, I was gonna say Johnny talks about Dwayne all the time.
Yeah, I'd give him a B-. We'll just move on. No need to discuss it.
He's trying to Johnny Brooks. Boyd?
Maybe C+. You know, he had some really good moments early in the season. He just fell out of favor. So I'll keep going down. Cardiff City.
Nope.
Horvath.
Oh, I thought he was the London, right? Yeah, it's Cardiff. You're right.
Horvath. Had some great games. Played on the worst team in the league. Certainly didn't ghost. Wasn't poor. Wasn't that erratic. I think I'd give him like somewhere between a B and a C, maybe a C+, B-.
It's hard to sit there and say that. He plays for the worst team, so clearly it's got to be lower, right?
Oh, they were getting pummeled.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be an incredibly poor team, which it was clearly, obviously. But I mean, contributed here and there, I think would probably be an adequate description.
Yeah,
because I mean,
he wasn't inconsistent. And then as far as Caleb Wiley goes,
but did he make a positive difference though?
No,
it was just
not enough. No, not enough. Like a C+ maybe. As far as Caleb Wiley didn't play enough, I'd give him an I. When he did play, he contributed here and there, but he's injured the whole fucking season for Watford. So it's really hard to do much more than give him an incomplete, even though when he did get to play, it was slightly impressive. So I'm still, because I don't want to knock his slightly impressive down because he was injured the whole season, and which would mean he ghosted. So I'm just going to give him incomplete for right now.
We skipped Reyes at Norwich.
Oh, come on.
Oh, he played more than Wiley, I'm sure. He played 3 full matches.
No, Wiley played 4.
Full matches?
Not full.
Yeah.
But he played more matches. I don't know what to give Reyes.
You can play 45 matches if you only get 1 minute. That doesn't mean that you played better. I mean, the whole more matches thing doesn't make a difference. I think minutes you earn is better than matches.
All right,
but I'm joking.
I don't give a fuck. Actually, yeah. Either way,
we were confused of whether or not he actually played for the big boy team until I had to look it up.
Right.
So I mean, it obviously didn't make any fucking difference to us. So
is Reyes cap tied to Chile? Asked Spencer Doherty. I have no fucking clue.
Fuck if I know.
I have no clue.
He came up on our radar as people were posting as Dual Nat Panic.
Can I just say this?
You can.
The number of fucking morons on Twitter who think just because you played a U23 game or a U20 game, U21 game for a country means you're cap tied is so asinine. Just go look up the basic rules. Not talking about you, dude, but like the number of morons who think, oh no, he played U21 for that guy, so he's cap tied. No, you're not cap tied. Fucking FIFA has made switching easier. Like U23s doesn't count for shit, dick. Doesn't matter. So Reyes is only, as BMR says, provisionally kept tied to Chile. He can still file a one-time switch. So let's quit, not you guys, but the guys on X with, oh no, he's cap tied. No, he's not cap tied. You go read the rules. All right? I'm sick of this shit. Oh, he can't play for us. He already played for Chile in some tournament. Some weird-ass tournament, Cotton Bowl tournament. That doesn't mean dick. You see all these youth players playing U21s for the U.S., then U21s for the England, then back to the U.S. for their, U23s. You can flip-flop around until you get to a certain age. So they've made it very easy, and they keep amending the rule, it seems like every 2 years, to make it even easier. So you can't be what as they call exploited, an exploitation cap, right? They're trying to get rid of that. Oh, let's cap that guy. Let's cap that dude. Well, you can't just do that. anymore. All right, not the youth or the Olympics system.
As we've seen from a number of Mexican Americans making that switch recently to Mexico.
Yes.
They filed that one-time switch despite the fact that they've been provisionally tied.
Right.
So,
and if you can you can still go to FIFA. They will hear your case. If you can present information that makes it very clear that you were exploitively cap-tied, they might even hear your case. Okay? And let you move anyhow. It's a court. It's not a court, but it's a board, right? They make those decisions. Keep going. Real Batiste. There we go.
It finished pretty damn high.
This is going to be pretty easy.
Yeah.
For Johnny.
Really quick as we. Oh, for Johnny.
Johnny made a really positive difference for Real Batiste. Yeah. I'm giving him a B+. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, teetering to A- at some points, but overall B+ A- range.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched a whole lot of games where I thought he was a standout of the game. He may have had standout moments, right?
Sure.
Where he scored them like a cracker, but it wasn't enough for me to give him any more than a B+. Yeah. All right, next.
Yep.
If we ever want to go to bed tonight.
Never going to happen.
That's it.
Is that it for La Liga, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. Whoop. On to the Bundesliga.
Well, there are going to be a lot here. Let's start with Frankfurt. And that is, of course, Nathaniel Brown and Timmy Chandler. Well, Nathaniel Brown, I think, made a massive positive difference for Frankfurt this season. I'd give him a B+.
Yeah.
I don't think he's one of the standout players for them, but he's edging at that for sure. And then Chandler just ghosted. He didn't play.
Yeah. We had the eye, so I'm going to give him an eye.
How a guy gets that injured when he never plays, I just don't get that. But okay. Chandler fucked Derek's mom. Nope. They were never in the same room.
I think Chandler is Derek's new dad, actually.
It's a phone call. It's called a phone call? Or what do they call a phone conference call? My mom was on with Chandler. And Brian Schroeder. A couple times, I think. All right. My mom was the translator. Okay. Nothing on Freiburg, nothing on Leipzig. No, Reina at Dortmund. Ended up playing a lot more games than we thought here at the end of the season. But I'm going to give him a C. Erratic, inconsistent, good, and bad.
You can't give him a C- because he wasn't mostly poor. We've talked about this. At least
he wasn't poor.
Our opinion of him, at least, he wasn't mostly poor. You could say he ghosted because he really didn't get much playing time and he was injured a lot.
Yeah.
But when he did play again, he had bad moments.
Yep,
and it wasn't a howler of a season. I mean, how do you say it? Because howler of a season means that you played poorly all season, right? Or that saying, because I mean, it was a howler of a season in the sense that he really didn't get to play that much.
Well, that's just ghosted.
Yeah.
So this one's really tough because he wasn't poor. He wasn't a whole lot of bad either. And it's not like he was inconsistent either. He didn't contribute at all. So he's somewhere in that C range, somewhere in the C's, somewhere in those.
Somewhere between C minus.
Yep.
Because it wasn't a good season by any means.
No.
Yeah. But it's not like he came out, he didn't play poorly. I mean, I guess let's look for consistency here though.
I'm going to let you do this. I'm going to go get a Canada Dry. Take me 5 seconds. I'll be right back.
I mean, if we're looking at consistency and we've given players ghosted, we gave DK a ghost because he was injured most of the season, but he did play some. But quite frankly, did he play more than? No, he didn't. Definitely didn't play more than Gio. I'm still sticking somewhere in between that CC minus, man.
Yep, I'm with you. Next.
Yeah.
We got to get through.
I think Soccer Dad and Callie mentioned too. C minus at best.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah. Mostly just Didn't do anything.
Mines.
Maloney, ghosted.
Because he didn't play at all.
Yep.
I mean, did he get any minutes? Did he get any minutes?
Played 2 games for Mines. As far as I remember.
We're teetering with that old Gio thing. Well, Gio played more than 2 games, but
we're teetering on I.
Yeah.
Incomplete. And why do you move to Mines if you're Maloney when they A, don't play a destroyer, and B, are an offensive attacking team? The fuck?
You mentioned, but when he was on the talks of a move, you mentioned Mines as a potential destination.
I think Mines were 11th then, not where they
Fair
ended
enough.
up.
Hey, you know what? When Maloney moved over, they moved up 4 spots. So thank you, Maloney.
I guess so. Gladbach, Scally. Gladbach, Scally, just solid.
You gotta say B plus, right?
Yeah, B plus, somewhere around contributed. Made a positive difference. B plus, sure.
I mean, he short of the defense, not a positive difference in the attack by any means. But that's not necessarily who he is. So I mean,
yep.
B plus range. I mean, it's gotta be in that area.
B plus is fair. He made a positive difference for the team this season. But if you said B, I wouldn't argue with you.
Okay.
Augsburg.
No Kaya?
Yep. No Kai Banks. I'd say an incomplete. Didn't get to play enough.
He played, but he didn't play enough, right?
Yeah. Incomplete. Don't have enough info. Wolfsburg, Paredes. Again, another
still injured.
Yeah,
he's training.
No, he just played.
Oh, that's right. He did just play. You're right.
He played. Got an assist as well. So
it's incomplete still.
It's incomplete. Yeah, it doesn't matter. St. Pauli. That's what's his face? NYFC kid. Sands, incomplete. Got to play like 4 games.
It looked promising for him at least,
did.
but then he got injured.
Yep.
Sucks.
Yep. Incomplete. Keep going. Holstein Kiel. God, this is really tough because the games I did get to watch, Tolkien was really good.
Yeah.
Almost get to the point of best player on his team.
Weird, right?
And yet, he didn't play enough games. So it's like, how? Jack Paredes says, Derek, you do like Dick.
Or do you? That's a good question.
Oh, do you like Dick? I like my Dick a lot.
He's actually a big fan of Spotted Dick.
I like snacks and treats like that. Yes. But yes, I do like my Dick. Not all dicks, though. I'm picky about dicks. Very picky about which dicks I like.
So
yeah,
I don't know. BB plus range, I'd say.
Would be if he played more games. It was going that way. I'm going to have to give him an I. It's just incomplete. Not enough games. 5 games. Not enough games. He didn't even start them all, you know? But promising. It's promising. He was that good, but he'll
get a lot of playing time in Bundesliga 2 next season.
Yeah. I mean, there's no chance really. So yeah. Yep. He'll get a lot of playing time.
It's possible that Holstein wins their next match and moves up to Heidenheim here. I mean, they'd have to make up on that goal differential a little bit.
By the way,
hit that playoff spot.
By the way, Johnny, I do not like little dicks. I absolutely do not. If I'm doing research and I'm watching a good scene, nothing turns me off more than a bunch of little dicks. All right, let's move on to League One. We got very few here. We got Monaco, which is Balogun. I have to give him an I. Again, incomplete. Just went around for most of the season. And then we go to Lyon. Now we got a real grade we can't give to Tanner Tessman. Can we look at the scale real quick again?
Yeah, of course.
I should have it memorized, but I don't. I'm giving it a B. I think he contributed here and there. I think
he contributed more than he didn't contribute, but there were definitely games that are like
Yeah.
Is he on the pitch?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's more of he contributed, but it was kind of here and there.
Tony brings up the inconsistency, the erratic aspect of this. Is good and bad. So
I think that
maybe
was
maybe
more
maybe BC range.
I mean, maybe like a B minus. Like a B minus. Listen, I mean, what did we expect when he went there? I didn't know if he would play.
Yeah.
And then he nailed down a starter spot through big parts of the season. So I B minus. I'm giving a B minus.
Okay.
All right. And then we got one more, Toulouse. That's Mackenzie.
Do we have somebody at Strasbourg? Do we have
Not anymore.
Oh, he's not there anymore?
That was Caleb Wiley.
Ah, okay.
He left. So it's just Toulouse. Oh, Rems.
Rams.
P Fox, just an I. But if we go to Mackenzie, so P Fox and I. Too many injuries, didn't play enough.
Yeah. Well, he got there halfway through the season and then was injured, yeah.
Now, Mackenzie is a really interesting one because at the beginning of the season, Toulouse gave up one of the fewest goals of a team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And then, somewhere in the last 3 months, they fell off a cliff. They're giving up goals left and fucking right. So, I don't know, man. I'd say he made a positive difference, but then it was
times.
But then it was getting down to erratic and inconsistent. So I'm giving a B minus, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
Just how good was Gio with Jude and Holland? We all seem to forget that Gio saved Dortmund's Champions League hopes last season. Yeah, we did. No, we didn't.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people that have. So why is everybody talking about my forehead and cocks on my mind? What the fuck is going on in the chat?
And just to we had the Brendo with Mark from Step by Step, Scally's Cody from Step by Step.
Jesus fuck. I don't know what that is. Listen, guys, I love a Fudo like the next guy. As much as the next guy. But I don't just have cock on my mind all the time. Christ almighty. All right.
All right.
That's it. We're done.
Ligue 1. Let's go to Serie A.
Serie A. We got Juventus and Weah and McKenny. Let's start there, Brett. Let's put that chart up there. McKenny contributed here and there.
I would have to say more B than B plus because there were definitely times in the season, especially earlier on, that he was more B plus.
Yeah.
But as the season progressed, he was more consistently a B to B minus.
Yeah. Just more of a super role player, not the guy who used to crash the box all the time.
We started seeing that in the national team level too, though.
Yeah.
We saw that
mild regression.
Segregation down.
Yeah.
As it progressed throughout the season. So and maybe that was an issue as far as obviously the new team, the new manager, but then playing left back and then all of a sudden playing more.
Hold on, Johnny. We didn't skip Richards.
No, we covered Richards.
You skip Richards. Your brain skipped Richards. All right, sorry, Brett. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, it was maybe it was an issue as far as him playing left back and then some right back, and then all of a sudden he's playing a center attacking mid. And I mean, even with the national team, I don't know what is our fascination with playing him as a center attacking mid type of player. I mean, obviously, the idea of having him crashing in and around the box is nice. He can place, he can do a nice ball, to break up the line, the defensive line. But I don't think that's where his strength is. Strength is playing as the one of the double pivots.
I agree.
So
I agree. Yeah, so I can't give him any more than a B.
B minus for me. Yeah.
And B minus is fair. And I'd do the same with Weah. He played a lot less, but he was somewhere between contributed here and there and erratic and inconsistent.
Yeah.
So B minus, C plus, unfortunately. I would love for us to come out and have a lot of A's. We're just not getting a lot of A's. Sorry.
Yeah, this season's really been hit and miss.
Mm-hmm. All right, next one would be Pulisic. You didn't have to do that. I knew they were on their next.
They dropped down far. I just want to find out where they're at.
9.
9.
Yeah. So as far as Pulisic goes, he's close to being the best player on his team, but not really. I'd say he's one of the standouts of the season for them. He's up there, but I don't think he's really captured the best player on his team thing. I don't think so. I think you got Teo. I still think he's the best player on the team. And I still consider, even though the up and down season for him, I still think that Leao's a better player. Although there were times when he was not only the best player on his team, but the best player on the pitch this season.
Yeah.
So if you do round that all out, maybe he gets an A. But realistically, he's an A minus. But it's an AA minus, somewhere around there.
He wants to bet you $2 that we did skip Richards. Nope, we covered him because we talked about erratic, inconsistent, good and bad for him.
Yeah, I'll take
we ended up giving him a B minus C plus range, if I recall correctly.
Yes, Johnny, I'll send you my address. You can send me those $2 in an envelope. You lost that one, buddy.
You just scroll back, buddy. Yeah.
You were too busy looking up. You were too busy looking up 80s and 90s
step by step
shows.
children. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. You got distracted, my friend.
Johnny says it's Fumar's fault.
Probably was or could have been. And then we've got one more
Venezia.
all the way to the bottom, and they might just scratch this out yet.
And that, I mean, their last 5 games has not been very beneficial for them, but they made 5 points in the last 5 games. But they need more than that. They
got 4 more games left.
Is there 4 really?
Well, yeah, 19 and 19. That's 38 right. Games. So
you're right.
They got 4 more left. They could definitely eke out Lecce on this one. They could. But as far as Busio goes, I think he's been a contributor. He hadn't any massive positive. Not a
B minus, I think.
I think he's a B. Yeah. I think he's been pretty consistent all season, but he's just, contributed here and there. That's a B.
I remember moments where he was left off the starting.
That was 2 games.
It was only 2 games. That was it.
Yep. Then went right back to starting again. So, and then they start him at second striker for a game.
Well, he's back to the Sporting Kansas City days. What the hell?
Yes. Yeah. So it was crazy.
Coach going back looking through. We need somebody. Hey, I believe Busio said that he played a second striker for false 9 for Sporting, right?
And then the game after they play him a second striker, they play a 3-5-2. And they put him in the midfield. It's like, what are they doing here? It's just like a massive experimentation thing going on here. All right, Sassuolo, Toljan, just a regular contributor, B. That's it, nothing more. Doesn't score goals, doesn't provide assists. Palermo, Lund.
Did he lose this spot again? Or
no,
is that just a period?
It was a period. He's back being the starter again.
Gotcha.
So C plus, B minus for him this season. You're playing in Serie A. You should be kicking ass and be a regular starter.
Serie B.
What did I say?
Oh,
Serie A, but B. You should be starting, right?
Yeah.
Every game, contributing. C plus, maybe. C. I'll just give him a C. Bari would be Novakovic.
Oh, no, it's not Novakovic. Yeah.
I would just give him. I mean, we're talking a guy that, really should be
gets
kicking
2 minutes here, no minutes there.
That's a C minus D.
That's a D for me, yeah.
Yep. Sasena, I think that is Klinsman. I would give Klinsman a B+.
That's got to be a B+, right?
He did make a major positive difference for them this season, and at some point they were fighting for a promotion spot. And I don't think he's the reason that they're not anymore. They fell off at the end of the season. But for most of the season, he made a positive difference for that team. And that's it. I think. Just checking. Yep, that's it.
How far does Sampdoria fall down?
I know. God. I remember.
God. Consistency area contributors for the longest fucking time.
Yeah. Well, you could say that about Brescia as well. They were up there for a long time. Who else?
Palermo.
Palermo's been up there. Bari's been up there before in my lifetime.
Sassuolo recently.
Yeah, but they're not. That's kind of new.
That's what I said, yeah.
Yeah. All right. What else we got left? We're coming down to the end here. Eredivisie. PSV, we got a bunch of players to do.
Yeah.
And a bunch of eyes. All right. But even Pepe, I'm not giving him an eye. Because
no. He played a healthy chunk of the season, actually.
He
was
certainly
contributing.
Did. And he was one of the standouts of the season for them when what's-his-face couldn't score. De
Jong. Yeah.
So for me, I'm saying he's an A-. Go ahead.
I say, yeah, absolutely. Pepe is an A-. If he
Yeah.
wasn't for that injury, he would have
probably been
scoring, and PSV may have been actually fighting for that, first spot. But
right. Dest will just give an eye.
Eye across the board, yep.
Tillman played enough games that I'm going to say he made a positive difference, even though you give him a ghost because he was injured a lot, but still going to say when he's there, he's a positive difference. With Desma, I'd say he contributes here and there, but it's more like a B- because he's not erratic. He's not bad and good. He's just kind of there. He contributes here and there with an assist here and there.
Yeah,
with good passes.
He's had a decent game here and there, but quite frankly, again, a lot of the matches I watched of PSV was definitely earlier on in the season when we had three players playing.
Yeah.
And for the healthy chunk of the first half of the season, it was sort of like he would play passively. He'd always pass back, not really take chances moving it up into the attack. Now, that's changed a bit as the season progressed, I think he sort of came into his own, but I think B- area is perfectly fine to say.
Wuxie Game Central is asking, is Des back? Yes, he's back.
Ish.
He played a couple games. And since what happened was they're not going to be able to be overtaken and they're not going to be able to pass Ajax. So there's no real point in risking Desk at this point.
Sure.
So they just didn't do it. Utrecht is next, and that is, of course, Paxton Aronson. Just keep in mind, this is Holland. It's not the Premier League, so an A in the Premier in Holland, it's not the same as an A in Premier League, but still, he was the best player on his team, clearly, all season. And he's the reason they ended up where they were. So, an A for Paxton Aronson. Absolutely the best player on his team all season if you average things out and how big of a role he played on that team. No,
Groningen finished. I'm just saying, look where they finished.
No, I was going to say, we don't got anybody.
Yeah, relegated, and they bounced back up. Now they're mid-table.
Yeah.
They figured something out.
I guess so. And I think that's everybody. I don't think we got anybody else.
Where did Taylor run off to?
Who?
Taylor Booth.
Oh, Taylor Booth.
Does it go? No. Where did Taylor go off to?
Fuck. Sittard? I don't remember. Look him up real quick. 20?
20.
Okay,
20?
20.
I didn't realize he was at 20, huh?
Yeah. And that's
been 6 matches, 1 assist.
Yeah, that's an I. Totally incomplete.
Yeah.
Barely got to play all season. Injured through bits of it. Just Taylor Booth's in a rough spot right now. So
yeah, I mean we were talking about the the players that people who like fall for players, and then they get butthurt when they don't perform and everything like that. Man, the Booth brothers, there's a lot of promise there, and people expect them to do big things.
Well, his younger brother's doing worse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, by a long spot in a worse league. So the other division below.
Yeah, division below, yeah.
Yeah. All right, what else we got? We're done with Holland. We moved to Swiss. There's only one guy to cover, Conrad. And he was injured for about 5 or 6 games. But you have to honestly say that...
what team does he play for?
Lausanne.
Is it Lausanne?
Outside of one game this season, and he played about 20, 15 minutes every game. He came in off the bench for a long stretch of time. Have to give him a D or an F. He made no impact, 0 impact outside of 1 or 2 games the whole season, and he played a lot of them. So D or an F for him. You pick it.
F.
We're getting to the Belgian league. Don't worry. F for most folks, it seems like. I mean, you're playing in Switzerland. You should be starting for Lausanne. Starting. Oh, go up. Go up. You missed. Austrian Vine.
Oh, I've already closed it out, Derek. Just pick him.
No, Austria. Go up to Austria Vine.
Okay.
Maurice Malone. Pretty decent season. I'd give him a B+. I think he could have scored more goals. I really do. All right.
Take your word on that one.
Yep. Lask, Bello, and God, what is the other guy's name? Fucking hey, I always forgot his name. I didn't earlier when we were talking about it, but Bello, I think it's a like a B+, A-. I think he was a pretty important player for them this season. The other guy kind of played mostly off the bench. God, what is his name? I need help there. Forgot his name. Adinarin. I got it. He got a goal, by the way, right before we put out these ratings. He got a goal on Saturday, this past weekend. I'll give him a B. I'll give him a B-. That was his best game. And then there are other Americans.
Wolf wants to know if Bello deserves a call-up.
Nah. No. I think what you have to keep in mind is this is Austria. Austria is outside of the top 2 or 3 teams is really bad. Really bad. Klagenfurt, for instance, the 9th place team, is a League 1 team in England at best. Maybe worse. Lask would be the last place team in the championship and probably mid-table in League 1. The Austrian league is very poor, extremely poor. I'm sorry, but that's just being real. It's a bad league. I would say if you put the 18 teams in the Austrian Bundesliga against MLS teams, well, let's just do 12.
That's all I have.
It would be 12-0 head-to-head, seed by seed versus MLS. They would lose every or tie maybe a few, but they would maybe an upset here and there out of the 12 games. But they would generally get their asses crushed by MLS teams. They would. In a head-to-head competition, seed by seed.
It's a really short season for the Austrian League.
And keep in mind, there are gems that are going to be found within the Austrian League. But when Maurice Malone's one of the best players in the league, we did miss out on a player there, but you closed it out, so we're not going to do it. Jalen Hawkins played for Tyrol. I would give him a B or a C+, somewhere around there. You know what? You're starting every game in Austria. I'd like to see more. I'd like to see more. More goals, more assists, especially if you're playing a winger spot and you're attacking all the time. And then we get to none of those. Standard Liège. Marlon Fossey. Yep, you passed.
It's standard. Okay.
There you go. Standard Liège, Fossey. Can we go back to our rating chart real quick? I'd say he just at best contributed here and there. He did his job. I'll give him a B. It's fine. But you're playing in Belgium. You need to be making a positive difference the whole season. Not just contributing here and there. You need to be one of the standouts. Okay, done. No more. Got no more on that. That's Fossey. And then we got Westerlo. And that is Brian Reynolds. You don't have to go back to this because this is it. So we go back to and Griffin Yao.
Yeah.
Yao, I thought he would start the whole season, be a massive contributor for this team, and he wasn't.
Nope. I was actually kind of surprised by that.
Yep. He ended up just being a B, contributed here and there guy. And Reynolds, same thing. But he didn't really contribute that much. He was just solid. He went erratic, so I'm giving a B-. Because he's not bad enough to be erratic. He just, listen, it's fucking Belgium. You're playing left back. You should be pumping in assists. You should be contributing an occasional goal. Something like that for Westerlo. And you're not. You're not dominating. You're not kicking ass. You're just like a good player in Belgium. Like a good player in Belgium? You got to be a great player. At least we can say this about, Klaassen. When he played in Belgium for Anderlecht, he was a really good player. He made a positive difference for his team on a regular basis. So these guys had an opportunity this year, Yao and Reynolds, to put a stamp on this, to say, yeah, not only are we going to be great and we're going to really kick ass, we are going to make a difference for Westerlo in the way that Paxton Aronson made a massive difference for Utrecht. Massive. Paxton Aronson being at Utrecht, go watch the games. He is Utrecht in a lot of those games. He's the focal point. He's the guy. He's the man holding down the middle of the field. And that's it. Nothing left for Belgium. And the only guy to cover here is from Huracan, and that's Miljevic. And it's not much of a season yet, I guess, but I have to say he's made a massive positive difference for that team since he got there. Already, I'm giving a B+. And he's been
back a couple goals.
Yeah, he's been a standout in several games. So you can pick A-, B+.
A- range, yeah.
Yep. And you can say, well, Argentina must not be very good anymore. No, they're in the top 5, I think, top 4 of that league right now. Where were they?
They're third.
Third. Right behind Boca Juniors and Argentinos Juniors. So being third and being a regular starter in Argentina. Okay, is he slow? He's not really fast. He's not. Is he skilled? Yeah. He's a pretty technical player. So we're not going to cover Che. You let me know when he plays on a relevant team. I thought it was Justin Hawkins. You're right. It's Justin Butler. My bad.
No, it's Quincy Butler.
Quincy Butler. I'm doing it all.
Hawkins.
I'm doing it all from memory. I apologize if I get one or two wrong. I didn't write any of this down tonight. None of it. It's all from memory. So just so you know.
What about Charlie?
Charlie Kelman. Hoppy doesn't play for Sonerjewski. He doesn't play. Charlie
Thankfully.
Kellman, we don't go down to League
Howard.
One, but I'm happy, and we've already talked about him before. We're really happy for Charlie Kellman. Now let's see if you can do in the championship.
Exactly, yeah.
He hadn't done it before, and he had plenty of chances for QPR to bring his game. Now, maybe he found something with Leyton Orient this season. We shall see. I always thought that was a weird name for an English team, Leyton Orient.
Yeah.
Keith Pierre's injured again. Shocker. Shocker.
Surprise!
Playing in the second division in Holland, Keith Pierre. When he was healthy, he did play. Wasn't blowing anybody's nutsack off. Can say that much. Jonathan Gomez hardly played. Barely played this season. Barely. And there's some other issues going on with his passport. Donovan Pines had some really good moments early in the season. Haven't followed it since.
I stopped following whenever Gaga left.
Yep. So he's been a solid contributor, but let's keep in mind, this is League One. We're not doing League One here. We don't do a lot of League One. Can't do Gaga. Gaga got injured. Not going to rate Gaga.
Gaga.
Gaga, not great. Gaga did play, not great either in League One. So, not going to do those ratings. Dante Polvara, is he still in Portugal? Is Dante Polvara still in Portugal?
No idea.
I stopped checking. All right, some of you guys are just putting out some crazy names now. Evan Rotunda. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
You got to give me some serious leagues here. Serious leagues. Sabi's in MLS, PMR.
Yeah.
Plays for Vancouver.
Oh, we didn't even cover Scotland.
We're not doing Scotland. Okay, let's do it. Trusty. He plays for the best team in the league, and yet he was still managed to be erratic. So much to the point he's lost his starting spot to Scales. And that's not hard. That's pretty hard to do. CCV, A minus, major contributor to the team.
But it's Scotland.
You play 2 hard games every season. And the rest of them you're supposed to beat. You're supposed to beat them.
Yep. In other news, Sebastian Berhalter will miss the CONCACAF Champions Cup final versus Tigres or Cruz Azul. Due to the yellow card simulation.
Sabi did play half a season for Le Havre. I'd give him a C plus at best.
Last thing I went in done. Oh, good. Sorry, we're not even there.
Josh Cohen? Where's Josh Cohen even playing now? I don't even know. Yeah, I thought he was in MLS.
Yeah.
I don't think
Cohen plays for Atlanta, according to Spencer.
Oh, so he's a backup to Guzan.
Okay.
Any other names to shout out that we might have missed that are relevant? Relevant is the real point I'm making here. Relevant. This is a show that Brett and I thought we'd be done in an hour and 30 minutes. We've again massively failed at getting the show done in an hour and 30 minutes. We do appreciate you all showing up for the show and for the 189 of you that were here at one point. We do appreciate it. We love you guys. We really do. This is fun for us. This is like, it's what we do. We got some games coming up here soon. Big ones. Might have Lexi back on. Good to see Alexi and Tact having a good time together, having some laughs. We always told Tact that if he had Alexi on, they'd have some laughs, that he's just a troll. And he embraces that, right? Oh, we didn't do 2 Bundesliga. Julian Green, injured for portions of the season. Him and Max Dietz had very disappointing seasons. Very disappointing. I give them both. They should have been major contributors to their teams. And Greuther Fürth are way down the table. I'm giving them both C pluses. Poor seasons. Started out not so bad, but ended poor. Damian Downs, too many injuries this season as well. But when he has played, I give him a B. I give him a B. I like if he were more healthy for most of the season, we would have seen him play more games, more goals. Not a regular starter. Needs to become one where it's just penciled in. Damian Downs is starting for Kern every fucking game. That's where we need to be. Until then, he's a B minus guy who has some great moments, but doesn't contribute on a regular basis. But worth a call-up and a look-see. God, now everybody's coming in with these names. Okay, we're done. We're done. Let us know in the comments somewhere on YouTube who we might have missed. We'll cover them next time.
And what grade you give them.
And what grade. And if you disagree with any of our grades, put that down there somewhere. If you think we're totally off and we totally missed something, let us know. Okay. People are still saying, wait. We can't wait anymore. We are way overdue on the show. We are way.
He wants the 3-hour shows. What he wants.
Well, no, we're not doing it anymore. All right, so we'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend. Give your stepsister a kiss on the right butt cheek before you go to bed tonight. And we will be back soon. We love you. Good night.
That hurt.
I want to play in Europe. What the hell does that mean, right? Because Europe could be Latvia, Luxembourg.
No one's talking about Latvia or Luxembourg, dumbass.
So you don't want to just shove it in there. Start with the smaller finger, especially if this is the first time. Start with the smaller finger and go slow.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Honey, eating ass, it is the best thing that you can do for your man.
I want people to realize I'm just human. I'm just human, and I make mistakes.
So this guy, Derek, wants to know, is putting your tongue in an ass really the thing to do?
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah, it's a weird one, I think.